Hey everyone, welcome to Dalable Podcast. This week we're going to be talking about just stuff that, pop culture, movies, trailers, things we've been watching, catching up. So, yeah, guys, it's David, Green Lantern. I know Dad asked about what your thoughts are in the show because of the trailer that just happened.
Yeah, the still non-existent show
Yeah.
because again, until the credits roll, it doesn't exist. But till then, yeah, I haven't heard a whole lot of this stuff coming out about it, but I think your dad knows a little bit or has been hearing a little bit more, so I'm
Yeah.
curious to hear that take on it. But right now, cautiously optimistic until I start hearing some of these new details and maybe they'll change my mind a bit.
Guy didn't want to train him, and so Hal gets sent by the Guardians, and he's kind of a burnout. He's just kind of, I'm done with this stuff. And it is truly a detective story. It's in the same vein of what was the movie with McConaughey and Police Story, or what was it? It was
Are you talking about True Detective with
True
McConaughey
Detective.
and
True,
Harrelson?
yeah, with Harrelson. It's very in that vein. That was what
Yeah.
they were looking for. So Lindelof wrote it. I'm trying to remember who the guy who directed the first two seasons has been he directs horror movies because this is going to have a very kind of serial killer horror movie element to it.
Yeah. I
And
Interesting.
and I was that was where I was actually kind of worried because like when I mean I understand, right? They need to do the whole grounded thing. You can't just jump into doing the expanse, right? Which is
yes,
what I would hope more for. And I think at one point I was literally like, man, I hope they don't do uh, True Detective um version. And then immediately whenever Gunn took over and they started describing the new one, I'm like, son of a bitch, it's gonna be True Detective but with
oh
Green
yeah,
Lantern.
and
Oh,
then
okay.
the guy who is the consultant works for DC, and he's been on some of the biggest Green Lantern and other stories.
Hmm.
So he's really grounded, and he's trying to add the comic elements that people are going to see. So Atrocitus is going to be in it. Um, Black Hand is going to be in it,
In
and
the first
basic
season?
in the
Damn.
first season. So
He's going to
basically,
be the ibuprofen.
they're sent to find out the Owens realize that there's a lot going on with Earth. It's becoming a focal point of the universe. There's a lot of aliens that are starting to come, so that's why they're going to be more than one Green Lantern. And they find out that there is a ancient evil that's on Earth. And I kind of think that's where the guy, I don't know if the Black Hand is in it, the guy who the character, he's not Black Hand,
Guy.
he's
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it. And I'm assuming that that entity, I don't remember what it was called, that created the darkness that the Black Hand is like the emissary of. He brings
Necron.
death, Necron, is it's all about him. And then Atrocitus comes because remember, Atrocitus wanted that power himself. He wanted to be able to wipe out all life because he's still wanting revenge for what happened to his planet. Remember the one that was in
Yeah,
the
Sector
sector?
666 and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
So that's where they're playing up on it. I don't know where the hell Sinestro is going to be in this, but he's in it. And then the actor who's playing Sinestro said, it has always been my dream to take on Superman. And I was like, oh man, you're giving a big hint. So I'm assuming Sinestro is going to be a big character in this. And what I'm thinking is they're going to go almost straight to Darkest Night. Watch.
I mean,
That's
I think it would be hard to go like that quick. You could, if you're setting up Sinestro that deep, you could definitely lead pretty quickly into like Sinestro Core War,
Mhm.
which would be pretty cool. And then that would be your lead into Blackest Night. I just think like I don't want them to rush Blackest Night. Blackest Night has a lot of
I
stuff
know.
going on
Yeah.
with it.
No. Yeah.
Like it's, oh hey guys, here's Green Lanterns, and then immediately be like, oh by the way, here's a bajillion other different colors, and now you're having to like establish all that. Like they need to take it slow. They need to just establish the lanterns, right? Get the kind of universe building, and then you can like slow walk your way into Blackest Night. But if you want to run into Sinestro Corps War, I guess that would be cool. But
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Sinestro War because he's already left. Him and Hal doesn't like hearing his name being mentioned. So that you there's that grudge that's there. I have not heard anything about Kilowog. I want Kilowog in this.
right.
Um,
It
and
was Cap Matui, by the way. It's Sinestro's daughter
oh yeah,
is the
yeah,
one.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
why do I get the feeling like they're portraying Hal as like this giant douchebag that he's going to get killed off in
no,
the
I
first
don't think
season?
so. I don't think so. I think
This last trailer, he
he's
seemed more on
You'll
edge
get it over
than
my dead body. Like,
yeah.
can
well,
we
no,
flashlights any harder?
he's saying that because he hasn't been given a ring yet. He was supposed to get a training ring, and his this trainer never showed up. So they
No,
send
not
him.
John, not John.
What? No,
Hal though.
wait. I know,
Okay.
but that ring they're talking about is Hal's ring, and Hal's like, I'm ready to walk away from this crap. And I think we might see him kind of go through this hardship and then refine himself. I hope. I'd hope they don't kill him off that quickly. I want to see him at least be part of the new Justice League for a little bit. I
I
know that they're aiming towards the Justice League cartoon. That's what all their focus groups wanted, so I think that's what we're gonna get. Hawk
Yeah.
Girl and all them. Um,
The Hal doing Hal things will be in the flashbacks.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we'll get the Hal doing Green Lantern stuff, which hopefully there's enough there. But yeah, I very much that they're just it's either they're going to do the thing where they're going to signal really hard for the sake of it and then walk it back in the show. But
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing that because Hal's too much of a loose cannon and a hard head about that kind of stuff. I can't imagine him like stepping back and allowing John to take the limelight like that in a lot
Well,
of ways.
if
At
you
least,
remember it in the comic, they didn't hit it off at first.
yeah,
This is before they revamped him and gave him the military background, where he was just, the architect who grew up on a rough street and didn't
yeah.
trust the man. Um,
Too
and
busy taking care of the blueskins.
yeah, well, and they didn't trust each other, and then Hal kind of held back in a story and to see how John would handle it. He when John handled it in a good way, he was like, "Okay, I can trust you." And then he lightened up. And then they became friends
Yeah,
until they revamped it and gave him the military background and made him an asshole. Um, because John was a bit of an asshole when they revamped him for a while. He
Hmm.
carried a chip on his shoulder. It wasn't until like the Mosaic comic series when he was off world and there was that Mosaic planet that had gotten put
poor
together
poor John keeps trying to get his own solo series going, and they just keep falling apart on him.
on him. Yeah. Um, I thought I did a pretty good job of giving him a background whenever I did tried to do my three Green Lantern stories. Um, we're supposed to see Guy change a little bit too. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm curious. I'm like cautiously optimistic about the whole thing, right?
but
Like I'm trying not to pay too much attention to like stuff that's gonna go on just so I can
they
see
have,
if I
yeah, yeah.
yeah, if I
You
can be
like it or
pleasantly
not?
surprised by it, right? Because I just everyone lost their minds about like, oh, like why isn't it in space and yada yada yada. I'm like, clearly y'all don't know about like hard traveling heroes
Hmm.
or any of the other books that is all very grounded Green Lantern. It's like there's stories that do it. It's fine. Like we can see this. And so it's like I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious where they're gonna go with it. I'm part of me doesn't want Hal to die, but part of me is like, but if they take Hal down the like Spectre route, I kind of think I would be okay with Hal dying if then we get like
Get him
Hal's
back as Spectre. Yeah.
yeah. And I get like we wouldn't get Corrigan Spectre, but I would be shocked if we got Spectre in like at all. But I would love to see Spectre, and if Hal's the way that we get there, I'd be okay with that. But
Yeah, so
yeah,
this is supposed to bleed into the new Superman movie. Set it up. And man, I don't know if you guys saw the interview with the girl who's playing Supergirl. Um, you've got a movie coming out, right? And you're supposed to be going on these tours and hyping it up.
Hmm.
And she had a chip on her freaking. She reminded me of the actress who played Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Brie Larson.
Brie
Oh,
Larson. And I was like, don't, no, don't. You this is a whole new universe. You're trying to get people to come into it. Don't start attacking your audience right off the bat. I don't know if she did it because she's trying to show that Supergirl don't take no shit from nobody. Um,
because
but
wasn't it
that
about like body image issues or something like that?
yeah, I didn't hear all of it, and I didn't go back to listen to it because I got pissed off at it. I was like, all right, this is not good. You need to, what's wrong with her body? I mean, I don't even understand if there would be a body issue.
Yeah, I don't. I remember there was. I didn't hear the interview. I just saw a bunch of headlines and a bunch of people complaining about it, and I just immediately was like, man, yeah, don't don't sink this ship right as it's coming out of the
I'm out of
harbor.
the harbor.
People, like, come
Right.
on now.
Well, it's just like Elon Musk, man, attacking oh, what the hell? The guy Nolan, Christopher Nolan for bringing up making uh
Well, it's twofold issue now, right? It's what's her name? Lupita Nyong'o, is that who
yeah,
that
yeah,
is? That is
yeah.
supposed to be Helen.
Helen
And
Yeah.
then
Troy.
you
Yeah.
have Elliot Page as Achilles. That one kind of got me. I'm like, look, Elliot Page is not like when I think of Achilles, and the people make the argument of like, well, in the mythology, Achilles' mother dressed him up and made him act like a woman to kind of like hide him from, I guess, the gods or whatever.
Well, I
And
don't
I'm
know
like,
how do you
that's like that's
hide.
all well and good, but like, I don't know. I have a hard time believing that like, you know, there's a jacked woman walking around, town, and everybody's like, oh hey, like. How much of it was them actually like treating Achilles as a woman because his mom said, and how much of it was just if we do anything differently, this woman is going to kill the shit out of us.
Well, remember, he was pretty. He was like overly handsome. People,
Yeah.
even men were attracted to him.
Yeah, but
Um,
Ellen
but
Page is not attractive
no,
anymore. So
no, no, I know. And I'm thinking of Helen, right?
That's because he's handsome.
They're
right, right,
fake.
right,
I mean,
right.
this is a poem. It's based on a poem. The fact that Helena Troy's mom had sex with a Zeus disguised as a goose, laid an egg, and then she popped out of the egg, and you're gonna get mad because she's
Yeah, buddy.
dark skinned? Come on, give it a break, people.
I mean, it's the thing that always happens, right? Although I will have to say that I can feel for the Mediterranean people because the Mediterranean people are like we keep getting these stories in our
And
region, and we cannot get a single
Single
Mediterranean
Mediterranean
person to
person
be
in it, yeah.
anywhere in these movies. It's like oh hey, it's Odysseus, but it's Matt Damon, right? It's just like person after person. It's like, well, we could just get Mediterranean people to like be in here in this movie. Nah, it's fine. We'll get literally everybody else. It'll be good.
well, I heard
But
also the big thing is like what Tom Holland saying, "Hey, he's my daddy's coming home," and it's like it's a term that wouldn't have been used back then or something like that. I'm like, okay, I don't know, whatever.
I just
I
like
just
the
think it's a
memes of Robert Pattinson, and they're like, oh hey, check it out, it's Batman, like putting Spider-Man in his place. I'm like, that's funny. I like that. That's pretty good.
As long as they shoot that he butchers them at the end, kills them all, and then does the axe arrow. I love that, and I've seen so many television shows that try to do it, and they always change it, and it's not how I envision it in my head. I hope somebody gets it right.
What's interesting is I heard somebody talking about the whole Odyssey thing, and they actually pointed out that in the story, it's heavily hinted at that Odysseus is a oh God, why can't I think of words right now? An unreliable narrator, right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
so it's this one guy was kind of questioning. He's like, I wonder because, Nolan likes, I mean, Once Upon a Time, he liked to put little twists in his movies, like Prestige, like
Yeah.
Inception, Interstellar to a lesser degree, right? In his movies. So it's like he was kind of wondering, is he going to use that whole Odysseus as an unreliable narrator to put some kind of a twist on the story in the movie? And I'm like, That'd be interesting. I don't know how that would look or how that would play out, but yeah,
I just
it's a
want to
Chris.
I just want to see um where God, man, you talk about you remembering, and I used to know all the characters. What's his name? The one who wants to get Helen back. No, he's the one who's wanting to start the war for
Agamemnon,
Agamemnon. Agamemnon. Well, you
guy
got
who
it.
gets killed in the bath.
Well, yeah, but later. No,
Yeah.
I meant he tries to start that war, remember, and he sends for Ulysses or Odysseus, and he doesn't want to go. He doesn't go, and so he sends spies to see what's going on, and Odysseus is out there acting like he's lost his mind and everything, and then Agamemnon and they all go with Achilles and everything. They're going to go talk to him. He's going to make him go. And so he plants his son out there as a small
Oh, in
child
front of
in
the
the field
plow.
and the plow.
Yeah,
I want to see that. It's
that'd be
never
good.
been done right or done in any of the
Yeah, I
series that
can't
I've
think of a
seen.
single instance where I've seen that actually on in a movie or TV show. That'd be pretty cool to see them
Yeah.
actually play up on that side of the story. I mean, they've got the dog in there, which I thought was kind of interesting. I'm like, oh wow, y'all are actually including like the dog being there at, and him raising it as a
So it's
puppy, and
yeah.
then it waiting for him to get home, and then you like can clearly see in the movie that like he gets home and like the dog dies once it sees Odysseus arrive,
Jesus.
right?
Yeah.
And so he goes, you can see him petting the old dog in the trailer. It's like, oh wow, okay, you're adding all that. So yeah, we might actually get some interesting looks, some bites at the apple of the story.
Yep. And I trust Nolan. I mean, not when it comes to superhero movies always, but I've never looked at any movie he's ever made and been disappointed. So, some directors are sometimes they give you something great and then you go, what the hell happened here? Were you drinking? Um,
It was
but
funny. I felt very validated because Brandon Sanderson, he has like a little podcast on his YouTube. He has a YouTube channel and he has a little podcast that he does with a buddy of his, and it's so funny to watch the podcast because the entire time he's doing a conversation. I guess he's got so many books that he's doing signings for to ship out to people. It's literally just like Brandon Sanderson sitting there talking to a friend of his with this gigantic stack of papers, and he's just sitting there signing like a bajillion cover
Autographs and
pages
yeah.
as he's going through. And then every once in a while, you'll see like a little aide like come walking over and pick up a big old stack and walk away, and then come up on the other side and set down a new stack on that. But um,
some of that's got to be advertising. Look at how popular I am. I'm so busy. I have to
I mean, it is
sign it.
Brandon
Yeah,
Sanders.
yeah.
It is Brandon Sanderson. He's a little known and a little considering that, and he is such a freak when it comes to like just workload. Like the fact that hey, COVID happened and I wasn't doing the convention circuit for a year, and in that time I just wrote 3 books because I had time, and he put it up on Kickstarter, and it made some psychotic amount of money. Um, but anyways, so he did a podcast with his buddy where they were talking about they were ranking movie trilogies, and there some of the rankings are pretty interesting. One of the rankings that they did whenever they got to Nolan's Batman trilogy, and I felt myself somewhat vindicated because I remember watching Batman Begins, and I was always confused and thought that the dehydrator weapon was so stupid, and that the second it turned on, it should have just like vaporized everyone
Yeah.
in the vicinity. It never explained how it was targeted or anything else like that. It was just like, oh, it's a dehydrator, blah blah blah, whatever, right? I'm just like, and Brandon Sanderson actually in his little podcast when he was talking about it, he's like, yeah, the Nolan movies are great. Like The Dark Knight is, like one of the great superhero movies of all time, yada yada yada. But I always had a problem with Batman Begins because I thought the dehydrator was stupid. I'm like, all right, I got Brandon. Brandon's on my side. Let's go.
Wasn't
What
it
was
wasn't it to vaporize the water so
mhm.
that the fear gas could be
Yeah,
Yeah.
pumped
because Scarecrow had been pumping
yeah
chemicals into
into
the water
the
system
water
all the time.
Hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
But you know what? When you said that, I totally forgot about the whole thing that he was doing with the fear gas to get it out there. And my brain instantly went to the Batman 60s with the dehydrator that turned everybody into dust, and that they
dust
had and I'm
from
like,
the
did
movie.
he take that? Did he take that from the original 60 movie? It just dawned on me now. I'm like, wait a minute. He had to have was like, I like this idea as a kid, but how do I translate this into a new movie? Ah, yeah, we can do this.
Yeah, I'll just make it bigger and kind of dumber, and we'll just go that way with it.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, but
Roz,
it but
but Roz is great, right? Like, there's so many
yes.
good things about that movie. It's just that super weapon was kind of super dumb, but
yeah, we didn't even get
it's
that
fun.
cool sound effect when they'd shoot people with it and then they'll whoop, and they're just a little pile of dust. Uh,
And it's like, how do you get all the grains? And that's another thing too. I never gonna ever get is like, how do you get all the grains of this person turned into sand into a vial? I mean, there would have to be like small
okay,
particles that were
we
never,
yeah, but remember,
Everybody comes back an inch shorter.
right.
Star Trek did it too when they had that alien race who used that little thing that was a white belt with a button, and then they aim it and they would dehydrate people and they leave just this little crystal cube, and then they could rehydrate you. And I remember Bones going, "It's they're here, Jim. They're here. It's just what would be left of you if all the water was gone." And then to just show how evil the main guy is, the main villain, he takes one of them and crushes it, and he goes, "It can never be brought back." And in the end, they become friends, and the guy they get him, to get their ship back because they were being taken off world, out of the known galaxy, and to get their ship back, Scotty had to get one of them drunk. Kirk had to seduce, of course, Kirk had to seduce one of the women, and Spock was helping make the main villain jealous of Kirk because they didn't have human bodies, kind of, that no, not that one. I'm confusing the two episodes. He had never experienced that kind of emotion. And I remember when Kirk kisses her, he walks in, he goes, "What's going on?" He should go, "Well, the captain's showing me this unique way of saying hello." And he goes, "Well, show me." And Kirk is like, "She can show you."
Yeah,
Dying
yeah.
laughing. No, this is not that kind of show. But yeah, I mean, same story. They've done it before. My thing was when at the end when they trip and spill all of them and mix them, and then he's like, "I can take them back to the Bat Cave and we can sort them." Or how do you sort elements that are identical? And then when they finally got everybody back together, all that was wrong was their voices.
Yeah.
They're not, I was like, um,
Good
Yeah,
old.
all these world leaders.
all these world leaders. And it reminded me of the Tower of Babel, because what did the Lord do? He made the everybody's language different so they couldn't communicate or work together. So they divided up and left. Um, but one more thing, and then we can start. Scarecrow, I mean, Clayface. Man, that looks good. The more I hear
Oh
about
my
it, the more thing,
God.
I was like, I don't want to see a horror movie. But now that I know what they're doing with it, that it's not what they're playing up on the horror aspect, but it
Yes.
goes much deeper than that. And he is going to be in the new, he'll be one of the Batman villains in the new Batman. Um, and I just wish people would quit saying, "Let's do Pattinson," because there's an actor he's shown images of who I was like, I could see that. He's muscular. He almost looks like Superboy in a way. And I said, I could see that. But they haven't said they've cast him yet. They're keeping that secret. But
I'm still on board with Alan being Batman. Alan
oh,
Richardson.
Okay, Alan.
Yeah.
So let's say Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
He's good.
We're gonna
We're gonna
resurrect
use
him just to
we're gonna
come
use
back.
the dehydrator to rehydrate his body back to life
There you go.
because he's pretty dry right now.
Um,
But but yeah, I mean, like I said, from jump on that Clayface movie, I like the second I saw the trailer, I was like, yes, this is absolutely what I wanted from this movie. Like from when they were originally talking about how, oh, we're gonna do a standalone Clayface movie, I'm like, it had better be start to end just awesome body horror. Like all I could think of was the Swamp Thing series, right? That they did that
the
unfortunately
TV
lasted
series
only
that
one
on one
season.
season. Yeah.
But just like the scene where there was the guy that they had pulled from the swamp and the stuff inside of him, the swamp aspects of him inside of him had become animated and began to like crawl out trying to attack everybody. I'm like, that was such a awesome
Oh,
scene.
that was
It's
it when they
it's
they took the body into the cabin, right?
Yeah. Well, no, no,
Yeah,
no. They took it back to the lab
the lab.
because they
Yeah,
were trying to
yeah,
figure out what was going on.
going on.
And
Yeah,
then yeah, then
Hmm.
like the plant life inside of him became animated out of it. It wasn't Swamp Thing because Swamp Thing like sensed it and came and dealt
came.
with it
Yeah,
eventually, but it initially became animated and started attacking people and all that good stuff. And it was so much, the Thing type of energy. And I was like, yes, go back to Swamp Thing's roots. Give me horror. And then whenever they were talking about Clayface, I'm like, okay, if you're gonna do, the Hagen storyline, then make it terrifying, make it horrifying, make him a monster, and just lean as hard as you can into that. So I'm excited. I'm really hoping that that turns out well.
yeah,
And
and
they,
Uh, and if it was going to be standalone, I wouldn't mind it. I was a little apprehensive about how are you going to do this in a Batman movie, which is part of a much larger universe. Then I heard him talking about if you like this, you're going to like what they're doing with the Swamp Thing movie that they're going to be doing. Um,
oh, please,
and
please,
I just want it to be done right. I want to see what's her name? Abigail. What's his name's daughter? I want to see him actually be not some mad scientist like he was in the two movies. I want him to be is his name Arcane? Was his name Arcane?
yes,
Yeah.
Arcane,
Yeah. Hmm.
I want to see him being, like an occultist and he's made a deal and I just want to see the monsters, you know.
yes,
And I don't want them
please,
to do an origin.
no,
Because
just
most of us know who the hell he is by now. Just put him out there. I mean, you'd have to be in a cave not to know who the Swamp Thing is. I could see where people don't know who Man Thing is,
yeah.
but Swamp Thing is pretty well known. He's had a
Well,
I mean, even
cartoon.
he is well known, but the thing is, remember, we're like two generations removed from that original cartoon, from and then three from that movie. So
Well, in the TV series,
yeah,
and
but
then
remember, it was hard to. It wasn't like it was on easy access to find that
yeah,
Swamp
it was on
Thing
the old
series.
DC app thing with
Hmm.
because that was what launched it
Yeah.
and Titans launched together.
yeah, and
But I
then
So
mean,
they got moved over to HBO, right? That's where
yeah,
right,
they had the whole thing on there where you could binge it. But
with
I
Doom
saw it,
Patrol and
yeah.
all that stuff, yeah. But I
but
mean, I mean, I just think that like you don't gain a whole lot by seeing the origin of Swamp Thing,
no, you
right?
wouldn't. You don't need to. You could do flashbacks easily and
Yeah,
still continue with the story.
and
Well, yeah,
actually that would play better into Swamp Thing because you can do the whole psychological side of it a lot better where like as Swamp Thing's going around just show flashes of his
Of his
life
humanity, like
and
RoboCop.
then
Do
yeah, yeah, and do that whole setup and you can just like start off with what's the old story by Lovecraft where you're going around from the perspective of a character who's like wandering around this castle and he's confused why people run away from him. And then at the very end of the
oh,
story, he like goes up
he's
to a mirror and he
here,
is the
yeah,
monster. So you
yeah.
were
Yeah.
following a monster that didn't realize it was a
He was a
monster the whole
monster,
time,
yeah.
right? And you could easily do that with Swamp Thing, and it would be a really cool way of handling the character instead of doing the whole like, oh, like immediately starting off with lost humanity. Just start with the monster and then like slowly start to infuse him with humanity
Hmm.
as it goes along, and then you can kind of lean into that. I think that'd be a cool way to go with the character, but we'll see what they
Another
do.
Well,
another
see,
thing too. Oh, hold
they're
on, Dad. Let
not
me go.
really giving any of us origins. Look at what all the movies they've got planned. None of them are origin films.
Well,
Yeah,
Superman wasn't an origin film. It was just in the middle of his story.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
Supergirl is not.
mhm.
The Lobo is not. The monsters, everything that's interconnected to this universe, they're not giving us an origin story.
No.
Yeah, we're just
They,
jumping straight in.
yep.
But going back to the Clayface thing, I think that giving it a touch of what Hollow Man was with Kevin Bacon, where he was coming to grips with him being invisible, like you could have that whole thing with Matt, like realizing he is this monster and like really diving into it as he goes crazy because he loses his humanity.
So do y'all know anything about what's going on? Because
Hmm.
he there's a gangster in this. It's a mob who is from Batman's stories, and he runs afoul of them. And a one of them get a collector to get money, an enforcer, tracks him down and f's him up. And so he goes into a hospital. There's a doctor working at the hospital, and she's also working on meta humans and
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to create them because so far they're like invented or they're born. And they want to be able to make them. And she's then wants to be able to, I think, sell it to the military or whatever. And she starts using him as a guinea pig. And so we get to see him through the hospital and through learning how to control it. And while he's trying to go through all this horrific thing that's happened in his life, he is going to be get pissed off and decide he's going to go, and it's a revenge film where he's going to go
Yeah.
after the people who did this to him, and that's great. I
Yeah.
love that.
Mm.
It's
It's the
friggin' dark. It's dark,
it's
man.
Feet of Clay.
Yeah.
It's the animated
Right.
series again, where it was Roland Daggett was the name of the guy in the animated series. I don't know who they'll run with this since.
Oh, they've said his name, but I don't remember what it is. He's like the second, I believe, of the of because there were three of them and then a woman, right? There were four
Well, as
Yeah,
far as the Clayface, but the
But
of the
Falcone is
Clayface.
dead.
No, no.
Well, but
Oh,
that's Pattinson. My
yeah.
bad. That's Pattinson's continuity or whatever. But
who
Um,
would be the
we'll
one he
see.
goes on revenge against? Which mobster?
I don't remember the name. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
horrible
what
on
Dave was
names.
trying to remember.
I can
Yeah,
find it for you. Um,
no, that's fine. We're good.
and so
Oh,
I'm like, the more I hear about it, the more okay, I can I'd like to see this movie, you
yeah,
know,
it's gonna be good.
because it looks like
I
it's
hope it's
gonna
gonna be good.
be, it looks like it's gonna be one of those movies where it wouldn't matter if it were the him and Clayface from the DC universe or just somebody
Yeah.
with similar powers. It's still gonna be a good movie, and I like the fact that he's going around finding directors who have no problem with working within the universe, but aren't afraid to push him a little bit. He's looking for people with different genre skills because he wants a bunch of different genre films. So hey, yeah, just hurry up and get them done because
Well,
Right?
that's
we
the
don't know
Swamp
what's
Thing
going to
would be
happen.
that would be a perfect horror film.
I think,
That's something that could be Zachary Krieger could do. Instead of the Resident Evil movie he's doing.
and
You know,
so
I didn't watch. I did not watch that trailer.
You're
Um,
you're good. You're
I,
lucky.
well, but here I've seen it now. But this is how it happened, right? I hadn't seen the trailer at all. Like I saw y'all all complaining about it, so I was like, I'm just gonna leave it alone. And then when we went to go see Mortal Kombat 2, we're watching all these trailers, and then the opening of that trailer came up, and uh, Aiden was sitting next to me, and he's like, "Dad," and I was like, "What? I don't know what the hell this is." He's like, "You don't know what this is?" I was like, "No." And so it's like it's going along, and the whole time I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, "What the hell is this movie?" Like I'm like, it looks like a cool horror movie, like it's an interesting horror movie. And then the title card came up, it was like, "That's the Resident Evil trailer." There was nothing Resident Evil about that. What are we talking
yes,
about?
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it
Thank you.
is. It is if you know some of the off games, not the
Right.
main games, but if you know some of the off games, you're going to know where some of these characters come from. What I just saw was a much bigger resolution of it. And in the preview when we first saw it, I did not realize he's being watched from the window by the thing that comes out of the house when
The
he's
the the amalgam
Yeah.
yeah,
creature thing.
The whatever, which is a creature that is in Resident Evil Outbreak,
Resident Outbreak. Yep.
but it's like on the
The
last
the
chapter of
online
Fallout
game
2.
nobody played.
I played it, but like if you don't do a certain thing, it doesn't even show up. That's like a side thing. Like
A
to
side
the
game, yep, that you
sides,
have
it's
to.
a side alternate ending to the main chapter or the final
That's such a
chapter. And
weird thing to build your
I,
movie on.
I know, I know, and it would make sense why there is no zombies other than like two parts in the movie, but it's very weird that you would just go, you know what? I'm gonna look through the pantheon of all the things of Resident Evil, and oh hey, this thing looks cool. I bet I can make a really cool. I mean, that was really weird. The all the body parts coming out of the doorway.
I mean, like without context and just seeing that, it's like, oh, this is like a crazy. I wonder if I immediately my mind starts racing. I'm like, is it a monster? Is it just like ghosts? Is it a haunting? Is it like all the like? And so I'm just starting to think. I'm like, man, there'd be like a lot of really cool reasons behind this. And the second I saw it was the Resident Evil, I'm like, oh, it's a virus mutation. Well, like, if anything, that brought it down. Like my excitement for that movie. Like as I'm watching, I'm like, this is actually a pretty crazy, cool looking. Oh, it's by the guy that did weapons, all this stuff. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm on board. Resident Evil,
Well, and
man, what is this movie?
you know it's him because there's a scene where he falls into the sewer and he kind of goes and looks and there's that big
The weird pale
Baron
guy. Like, what the
Baron
heck is
Yeah,
Harkin.
that?
He's
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Baron
core.
Harkin's in
He's
there.
the core
He's the
creature.
core creature for the amalgam
And
stuff.
as he touches people, they adhere and become part of him. And then he doesn't really become a main villain until he absorbs a tyrant. And then he's like incredibly hard to kill. Because that's once he absorbs that mass, and then you got the tyrant's head and part of the body comes up, and then all these faces on him and all these hands trying to grab you. And there's a scene that I was talking to Vince about, and I was like, you don't see his hands and you don't see his feet. You just see him sitting there, kind of like Baron Harkonnen, and that's because they're
All the
hiding
other
that
parts
part
are
of it. All the other
part. Yeah.
parts, yeah.
My problem is, it's like he's not like, yeah, I'm a big fan. He starts talking about four, talking about eight, and but the remake of four, and then he's all like, yeah, I wanted to do something different, but like I feel like this movie it's set in the same time period as Resident Evil 2, but it's just on the other side of the city. So that's why you're not going to see Chris and Jill and Leon or the people that you know from 2. Why is it snowing in Raccoon City?
Yeah, yeah, that was what just killed me
It's
right off the bat.
that outbreak happened in like September 26th up to the 29th. So we all know it was raining. Even in the remake, it was raining. No snow whatsoever. Why is there snow? And then on top of that, we have the happening situation where the zombies are just falling off kamikazing off these buildings and just splattering everywhere.
I think he watched World War Z and was like, "That's really cool."
World War Z, he watched the happening with
Or maybe he would, or maybe for an even deeper cut, he was thinking Sharknado, except this is going to be zombies.
right,
Zombies.
right.
Just flinging zombies out of a tornado everywhere. It'd be great.
It like that was my thing. I watched that trailer and I was like, man, this is a really
Wow.
cool trailer. Why is it a Resident Evil movie? It doesn't even need to be tied to that title. This would probably be an excellent horror movie. But then he's like, I focused on all this cool stuff. Like, hey, look, did you see this one scene where he's like sitting up against that dresser and he's got the phone and you see up in the top corner there's an herb and it's modeled after Resident Evil 4 herb.
Yeah.
Really? I don't care. I don't care about that. Like, I don't care about these Easter eggs. Tell a good story. And then on top of that,
Hey nerds, check out these
yeah,
keys.
that's another thing.
Okay, don't have the herb up there. Make him use it.
Right. He's like,
Yeah.
how do I use this? And there's a manual there. Oh, weird. He's sitting there reading it. Oh, really? Then you
So
just see him smoking afterwards or something.
he rolls it, rolling papers. I feel much better.
I feel much better. And then like you see the cuts on his arm just go heal.
Healing.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
long as as long as he doesn't regrow his hand gets cut off, and he just puts it there and puts that stuff on
No.
it.
It's from Resident Evil 7. He's like his hand gets cut off. He picks up his hand, holds it there like this with his somehow, and he pours the healing liquid
On
on
it,
it.
yeah,
It
on
just
it.
magnetically heals.
And I love how it fixes material as well. Not just
Right,
flesh, it fixes the sleeves and
right, and
everything.
everything like Zeno and 9. It's
But
uh,
no, I think it would have been a good film away from Raccoon City. It didn't need to be part of
yes,
Raccoon City. It could have shown how that the virus had spread outward away from Raccoon because there was a lot of woods. Not You can't tell me
or
all those animals came out and you're like, you know what? I could go this way and in fact I can go this way, but we're gonna all go to Raccoon City and party. No, that's not how nature works.
but hold on. It still doesn't explain the snow. So it'd be better if like Umbrella decided that they were going to have multiple outbreaks in different cities to kind of gather data from different strains. and just happened to be some town or city up there in the northeast somewhere where it would be snowing at that time, and it would make sense. But I just like there's no creatures in the games that we know are going to be in this movie other than the Nyx, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, it's the Knicks. That's what
And
it's
then
called.
the zombies, but the zombies are supposed to be really, really like a minor thing in this. But this would have
Well,
been a great opportunity for like, you know, the T virus gets out. It affects the zoo. The zoo animals get out. So he's having
well,
to
he
deal with a zombified tiger or something. But we don't know. We don't even know if there's
well
going to be
he
dogs in
did
this.
talk about the insects and other ways that it did. So I'm like, oh, you're gonna talk about insects. Now we're gonna have giant spiders, leeches, scorpions. What are we gonna have? And I thought, oh, you know what? It could be like hybrids of the tick, and some of the other insect walking ones. That would still be cool. The giant roaches in the sewer. We know that there
Hmm.
were giant roaches in the sewer from the games. So I'd love to see him get attacked by a moth, giant moth.
You know, you talking about ticks made me think the only version of a giant, like parasitic thing like that that I think I've ever seen put to screen was Godzilla versus Biollante when the people on the boat get attacked by like Godzilla lice.
Godzilla
Oh yeah, well,
1985,
that was
1985.
1985 were the
Was
Yeah,
it
lights.
85?
Yeah, it was
yeah,
Okay.
85.
Yes, but
yeah.
got attacked by
His sea lice.
Godzilla lice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sea
Yes.
lice. Yeah.
That's the only like I'm racking my brain right now. Like, you know, there's mosquito, there's you know, there's like all kinds of ones of like regular bugs, but I think that's the only one I can think of that like is specifically like a parasite in that sort of vein that I've ever seen put to film. So yeah, let's see giant zombie like fleas just jumping around everywhere, getting pouncing on everybody
Yeah,
and
give us something
draining them out.
we haven't seen before on the TV. I mean,
A giant spider would be awesome. I'm sorry, but like in a Resident Evil movie, walking into like what happened with Leon in 9.
and
It's
it
like,
just dropped down.
yeah, it just dropped
When you're not
down.
expecting it, that would be great.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of burned out on giant spiders because I went back and watched a lot of the old sci-fi channel. Lava tarantula, volcano. There was lava tarantula. There was earthquake tarantula. There were all these movies, and I was like, one of them I just had to turn off. I was like, okay, this is just
This is
too
bad.
dumb, right? And I was like, I can't. And then I got spoiled by Eight-Legged Freaks. And there's been a few like Itsy Bitsy Spider and some of these other ones, crawlers. Those are kind of cool. Um, and then sometimes I'll watch Invasion of the Giant Spider uh, movie where they took a VW bug, uh, put a fuzzy body on top of it with legs that would go like this, and then when at night you'd see these two headlights that were supposed to be eyes, and watching Alan Hale, who was the skipper from Gilligan's Island, fighting it with his billy club and his belt. And I'm like, okay. And I can remember way back when that movie came out, seeing the previews for it, and it showed the one where the girl's walking around her house. She comes out of a shower, and there's like medium-sized spiders. One is in the drawer, one is like by her bookshelf, and all this other stuff. And that preview made it look like it was going to be interesting. And I love giant bug movies. Um, it was like the first movie I'd ever watched in a theater that I wanted my money back. And I didn't pay for it because it snuck into the theater. I felt I should be paid to have sat through that torture. Um,
What is this horror?
I
Well,
mean,
I was gonna say, for whatever reason, you talking about zoo attacks though, got me thinking about if we're just randomly jumping around to things that we've seen, got me thinking about Punisher, um, because of Ma Nucci, and I wonder if we're gonna get to see her become a quadriplegic before Frank throws her into a burning house.
I don't
Because
know.
what, yeah, because that if I remember right, that's what happened in the old Garth Ennis run, right? Was they went and attacked Frank when he was in a zoo. He unleashed the zoo animals
Animals, yeah.
on the gangsters, murdered like almost all of them, and then Ma Nucci was there, and she got her arms and legs like ripped off by a polar bear or something, and somehow she survived. and then came back, and then I think it was at the end of Garth Ennis's run after he killed the Russian, he showed up to the Nucci's house, and like all their little like guards and stuff came out to
Came
attack
out,
him,
yeah.
and he just held up the Russian's head, dropped it on the ground. They all threw their guns on the ground and then got out of there. He lit the house on fire and then dragged Manucci out, her, little quadriplegic self yelling and screaming at Frank, and then Frank just picked her up and chucked her ass in the house and moved on with his day. I was like, if they put that to film, that would be kind of great.
Well, it ain't gonna be
Well,
in the
it's
it's not gonna be in the Spider-Man movie.
well,
No, it's
no,
not
and
gonna
that
be
will
the
be,
Spider-Man movie,
but
but
that goes to the whole thing about the last kill. I mean, that's I enjoyed that a lot, and it set up her very well.
Yes, it did, but I was like, okay, we've already had two Punisher series for the Netflix. Are you setting us up for a new version of this for the Disney? Because Disney's going hardcore into the horror
Right.
and the violent stuff. They screwed up
clearly,
with they've
Yeah,
screwed up with
clearly.
they screwed up with like Star Wars, and they got to figure out a way to make people happy. Um, and I would love to see that story played out, and make it the whole season, and just add some of the other stories that from other comics in, just to kind of as filler. I want to see Frank when he is no longer that kind of crazy person. I want to see when he's that hardcore killer.
Precision killer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when he first met Spider-Man. I want to see that Frank, because Frank had already gone past all of that, you know. Um, but
Yeah, that's what I was like. I felt that movie was just a giant pilot for a
yeah, a
TV show
series, a TV show. Yeah.
because it needed
yeah.
more. And I was like, it was over. I was like surprised, like when we get to that whole end there, and I was like, wait, there's no more. I want him
Oh,
to go see like to go take her out. Like,
oh, come
Yeah.
on, man. I was like, it went by so fast. That
yes,
violence, that action. I was like, I felt like when I was watching Raid, the first one,
yes,
for the first
yes.
time, I was like, man, this is just fantastic. And then it was over. And I was like, okay, he's gonna go save the guy at the runs the little delicatessen, and then we're
Yeah.
gonna see him go and finish her off. But no, it just when she drove off, I was like, ah.
Damn it.
But I don't know, man. We still got another thing for Swamp Thing coming up, where they're gonna try to explain the not Swamp Thing, the Man Thing, where they're gonna try to introduce that he's that Nexus Guardian, which they hinted at when he was the Werewolf by Night. And because they're trying to set up not only um the Dark Avengers, or what were they called, um where we're gonna have Blade and the all
Midnight
that is
Suns.
Midnight
Midnight
Suns.
Suns. And so I think we're gonna get part of it as a cartoon first, and then it'll transition over. But at least we'll know who's going to play him, because once they're cast as the voice, they stay throughout, even the live action. So um, I want to see Doctor Occult. I want to see what's his name. They introduced him in the series, but he didn't really have the one who can the Phantom Stranger. I want to
Hmm.
see
Well,
him.
now you're mixing your
I
DC and
Yeah,
mixing
Marvel.
my
you're
DC.
just
Yeah, because I went back to Swamp Thing in my head. Um,
I was about to say, when you said Doctor Occult, in the back of my mind, I'm like, wait a
I'm trying.
second. And then
I
Marvel
could.
DC, and then you
characters.
said Phantom Stranger, and I'm like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
we're
mixing them
definitely
up.
deep in DC's
Who are the
territory.
ones? I mean, I know there's Brother Voodoo, right? That's DC, that's Marvel. Um, who else are there's Doctor Strange, there's
Ghost Rider.
Ghost
There's
Rider.
maybe we'll
I know
pull it
that
up.
there's yeah, Werewolf by Night. Um, I'm trying to remember them from the Halloween special, where the Hulk had to fight against all the monsters who had come to defend against demons that had come through, and in the battle they started reverting to their more monster self, you know because I've got them both running through my head, because I love the Monster Squad from the DC, which was part of Sergeant
Sergeant Rock.
Sergeant
So
Rock.
yeah, hold on. You got all right. So Blade, Ghost Rider, Morbius, the Night Stalkers. So
Yeah,
Hannibal
that's
King
Hannibal
and
King.
Frank Drake, and then you got Doctor Strange, Elisa Bloodstone,
Yeah, the
Moon Knight.
daughter. She's the daughter. She was introduced in the one shot on the
Yeah.
TV.
So Moon Knight or Mr. Knight. You got Man Thing and Werewolf by Night.
Night. Yep.
Let's see who else. Wang. And then there's a video. I don't want to go into the video. Let's go into something else. Midnight
There's
Suns.
Zombie, which started off in the bigger books and then finally made it into the comics.
Yeah, so Johnny Blaze,
Um,
Bloodstone, Caretaker, Darkhold, Redeemers.
yeah.
So Sam, Lewis, or Louise, and Jinx.
Nope. You can't come up here.
Let me see. Doctor Strange, Doctor Voodoo, Frank Drake, Damian Hellstorm, The Hood.
Yeah, Hellstorm is the son of Satan. Yep.
Hmm.
And then Zatanna, if they are going to enter.
That's DC.
No, his sister.
Zatanna?
Yeah, no. There's a different one. She's a succubus, and she's Hellstrom's sister. Look it up.
Okay,
She's
I'll,
got
I'll look
red. She's got red hair, and
Add
she
another one
wore.
to the list of copies.
the things that you need to research.
Oh no, he's talking about the fact that of Zatanna the magician, whose father was what was his name?
Zatara.
Zatara, yeah. Um,
Okay, so let me see. Damien and his sister Satana.
Zatanna,
Satana.
Oh,
Zatanna.
okay.
Yeah, okay. Not
Yeah, because
Zatanna. There's
I
Zatanna.
hey, look, she was hot, man. I
All
couldn't
right.
get past the tight red and
She's like
black skin leather outfit with the little fuzzy white
she's
things on her
she's
boots.
Vampirella but covered up more.
Right.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Zatanna and the fishnets all day long.
We got Iron Fist, Jennifer Kale, Dan Ketch, Hannibal King, Man Thing, Moon Knight, Morbius, Scarlet Spider. But I think that's the newer one,
yeah.
not Ben Riley.
It's the
It would be what's his name? Kane Parker.
Kane. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
then you got Scarlet Witch briefly, Strange, Vengeance, Werewolf by Night, and Wong. Those are all the previous members of
okay.
the Midnight Suns.
I want to see that so bad. They when they teased it with the Dark Knight. I mean, not Dark Knight.
Werewolf by Night.
No. In they where Blade was talking. It was in Elementals, and they what's his name? The knight with the ebony sword. Um,
Oh, the one that what Kit Hiddleston, whatever his name is, the one from Game of Thrones played.
I think so. Yeah. Uh,
Um,
he had the flying horse.
yeah, I
Um,
can't remember his name at the moment. I have to look it up again.
Y'all are beyond my scope of
Your
knowledge.
scope of knowledge,
All I'm hearing is Shining Knight, and that's DC. And
Shining
no, no,
Knight.
no,
his name might literally be Dark Knight.
no. Oh, damn it. Where's my phone? I
Son
can't.
of a.
It's hell getting old.
But you know what? Let me see. We did miss this part. So Blade, Dick. Okay. Um,
His name is literally Black Knight.
Apparently Magic
Black
and
Knight, is
Wolverine.
that it? Yeah.
Yeah, Black Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But let me see. Nico, Minoru, and then Wolverine and Magic were also members.
Temporary, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've had a lot of different, like Valkyrie was there because she kind of moved over from Defenders for a little bit. There was Shadowcat, not Shadowcat from X-Men, Wildcat. She was there with them for a little bit. Um,
Was it the Defenders storyline that Justice League Unlimited stole from, where it was Grundy Fate
Yeah,
and Aquaman and
yeah,
Hawkgirl that went to go fight Totally Not Cthulhu. Isn't
yeah.
that a Defender story
That's a
where it
Defender
was
story,
Doctor
and
Strange, the
that
Hulk,
was,
and Namor?
and it was okay in Marvel. It was Stygian. He was a gargoyle. There was Wolverine, Hulk, um,
Strange.
Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Submariner occasionally, Valkyrie, Wildcat was there with him, and boy, I just saw something move on the side of my eye. And I thought something was falling, and there was nothing there. Woo! Um, And a lot of the champions, the ones who were like Hercules and all those that were part of the champion, they would kind of cross over with each other. But the core defenders were Strange, Hulk, um, Silver Surfer, and Submariner. Those were the four core group. And then everybody would wander in and out of them for a while. There was even Overlord. He was in there for a while. I'm trying to think of all of them, but they were the original ones that handled all the supernatural, that kind of storyline. Um,
I just
and
remember that Justice League episode and then finding out later that it was based on a Marvel story. I was like, oh, that's cool. It was a great episode. Awesome episode. Send off for Grundy. Because if no, 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 no. It was later that Grundy had completely lost his mind and they had to send Hot Girl to kill
to
him
go
in the
kill
sewers.
in the sewers, yeah,
Yeah,
which was a
that's great.
rough friggin' episode.
That was
So
man. Oh, back when DC made
Good stuff.
cartoons.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
The great times before the Empire.
Yes.
We could say that about Star Wars and Disney.
okay, you brought up Star Wars again. I got a bitch for a minute. It's not enough that they're going to retcon the sequels. They've announced they're going to go retcon the prequels to change the story. The only one they're not going to overly mess with are the original
Original
three,
tree.
because they're afraid that if they mess that up too much, they're going to just lose what audience they have left. You know what? Just
Everyone
freaking,
will revolt.
just do a good story. Don't fix it. Just pretend it doesn't exist and go on from there. We've all had movies that don't exist. What movie are you talking? I never heard that movie. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I've
You
never
know
heard
what?
of Alien 3.
Hey,
Have
hey, hey,
have
hey.
Luke have Luke wake up sweating and then Mara
Oh,
be there next to him and
I
be
Right,
did.
right.
like,
I
What's
already
wrong,
"What's
did
wrong,
baby?
that.
honey? I had the craziest
Extreme.
dream."
Yeah, because Jedi's
Some
have force visions. Come on, it's like you totally forgot about this in your
You
freaking
do you
sequel.
remember? Do you remember the story I sent you where I was trying to fix it? Where it everything that happens in the third one, and we see Luke, and he's on floating above like a tree trunk, and he is older, but he's not this burned out guy, and he's like, and he shakes, and he goes, um, Mara Jade comes up and he's got and he has two kids. I had it in it. I made Luke have two kids. One because there's a twin thing. So I had one
Ben,
boy and one girl.
Ben,
And so Mara comes up and she goes, "What's the matter?" And he goes, "I just had a vision of the future and I gotta go." And she goes like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "There's a young lady who I need to help. She's young, she doesn't know about the force, and she's being manipulated to believe something that isn't true." And she goes, "Are you sure you've got your loyalty?" And then you find out that when it as you pan out, all these young Jedi are training and everything. And this is the Jedi Academy planet. And so he was meditating while they were doing things. And she goes, "Do you want me to come?" He goes, "No, you stay and watch the kids for now. I'll call you if I need to." And then he goes off. And then I kind of told how he meets up with Rey, and he has to convince her none of that shit happened. I saw you die. No, you didn't. You were being force manipulated to see what they wanted you to look at.
But the Emperor was back, but he's not. It's
No,
fine.
he's not
yeah,
really. No. And then they go off to do something and Mara doesn't hear from him. And so Mara leaves the kids with some of the older Jedi teachers, and she picks three students to go with her to go help find what happened to Luke. And so it goes back to being that split story where you have three different stories going on, but they're all interconnected. And I never got past the Thrawn was going to be the main character as the villain. Older, he had been driven out and he retreated. He didn't die, and
So
several
Rook,
of the
Rook didn't kill him like he did in the
no,
book.
and so the stories from some of the novels happened, and we will see characters from those books. So you don't have to go and tell the stories from the books. You hint at them, you introduce them, and then people will go, okay, well, what book is that from? And that way you drive your book sales,
Right.
you know. And
That's what we talked about from the beginning on this podcast.
and I was like, oh, I could do this in a heartbeat, and I
What?
could
Wait,
bring in
what?
the
Wait, what books? There are no books. I was
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
I was
yeah,
reliably told there is no extended canon
Yeah,
that
we have no
we don't
source
have.
material to
Yeah,
work
we don't
with.
have source material to work
and
with. What are you
and
talking
and I
about?
was told there'd be no math in life.
I just think it would be funny if at some point, like, Mara comes to give, Luke some food, and he's like, "Oh, what's this on top?" And she's like, "Oh, it's instead of pink Himalayan salt, she'll be like, it's red Cretan salt." And he's just like, "No," and just flips it. And
Who watched Mortal Kombat?
I
I
did.
haven't seen it yet,
I
and
haven't
I
seen it
want
yet
to go
either.
see it, but I've heard from people that it's really good, but and they always add that but, and I'm like, oh, come on. Um, and it's also setting up a third one, so I guess they're gonna go through with it or not. I hope so.
Uh, it like I said in the chat after I got out of it, it's better than the first one, which I know is like all you got to do is lift your foot up a little bit like this and just kind of go over the bar, right? Um, but it's not, and I'm not saying that, right? Like it is definitely um it's better. Like it's definitely you can turn your brain off very quickly and just like watch as fighting happens and there's insanity. Like they do a little bit of character building with like Katana and Jade and they try to establish a little bit more of like the world and all that stuff, but they definitely for all the people that complained about them about all of the absolutely stupid story additions that they did in the first one and everyone wanted more fighting, they're like, oh, okay, we're going to take the dial for story, we're going to turn it way down, and we're going to take that dial for fighting, we're going to turn it
So it's just
way up.
all fighting.
We're gonna turn it to
It
11.
it's a ton. Like there is so much fighting in this thing. Like you can barely like really get into fights before it's like, all right, next one. All right, next one. All right. Which the fighting's a lot of fun. They do a pretty good justice to a lot of the characters and the way they play out. There's a funny bit with Johnny Cage and Baraka as it goes along. Um, but like they do a little bit of world building. It's like it's one of those things where I didn't feel awful coming out of it. I enjoyed my time with the movie. I'm not like itching to go running back and to rewatch it, but
It's
No,
a
it
one and
was
done.
it.
It's a one
it's
and
it's a
done.
one and done, or I can watch it
I feel
again
like it
later.
is. Yeah, I like if I show up at somebody's house and like it's on, right? Like I'll watch it and be like, "Oh yeah, hey, check out this fight. This is kind of cool." Whenever like the best fight in the entire movie, in my humble opinion, is when Liu Kang fights Kung Lao, right? Because like it's in the trailer, you can very
Yes.
clearly see Liu is fighting Kung Lao, right? So it's no spoiler or anything on that. But when Liu fights Kung Lao, that whole fight scene because of like where they're at and the setup for it, it's really well like it's probably one of the more drawn out fights of the movie in terms of just like watching a consecutive fight go down, and it's great. It's fantastic. All the choreography, all the little nods to all their different moves and things they're able to throw into it, fantastic, great stuff. So there's like moments like that in it where there's a fight that's just awesome. There's a cool moment with Scorpion whenever they go visit him in the underworld, right? To try and because they're needing him to go help hunt down another character. Uh, and so there's like a lot of cool little moments. And then whenever you mash it all together, it's kind of like I have a hard time really keeping track of things as they happened, but it's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable little film. It's a step up from the first one, which again isn't saying a whole lot, but it's a fine to go and see. I think
So
it
it's
was
better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
yes by
Well, that's
far.
that's my,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
that's not much.
Yes.
that's not much either,
Hey,
but
That's not much of
yeah.
a
but I
Yeah,
bar.
mean,
if trying to clear the one before this was like barely lifting your foot off the ground and then passing over the bar, right? Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the bar is like embedded in the ground.
Into the
So
ground,
just like
yeah.
walking normally, you clear that like all day long because that movie was awful. But no, this one was
I
it was enjoyable. Like if I had to put a number on it, I would give it like a 6.5.
Oh, that's
mhm.
Like
better than what I thought you were going to give it. I thought you were
Like
going
it
to give
was
it a
fine.
five.
It was fine. I had fun with it. As long as you're not going in there expecting all this amazing world building and all this other stuff, it's fine. Uh, my son loved it because his whole problem, he loves masks, right? And one of his biggest issues in every movie is cool mask. It's on the guy for 5 minutes,
And it
and
comes
then
off
mask comes off, and
Dread,
then
Snake
yes,
Eyes.
dread, all that. It just and it never goes back on. In this movie, Shao Kahn keeps the mask on
the whole
the whole
time.
movie
Yes.
until the end for a very specific reason, and he only has it off for a couple of seconds before stuff happens to him. So outside, and so my son was like, "All right, I'm happy because Shao Kahn kept the mask on, and Shao Kahn's really well done. He's menacing. I think, if anything, actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it, I'm talking through it. My one main problem with the movie is the thing that they do to Shao Kahn in the movie. I don't know how much you know about it, but
I
like,
don't. I tried to stay away
yeah.
from it because I wanted to enjoy
So
it.
yeah, so there's a slight tweak that they make to Shao Kahn in the movie, and that's the one thing that I the more I think back on it is the biggest thing that I don't like about it. It's fine. Like I'm okay
Are
as
you
it.
sure it's fine? Because I was like, I was torn with the Last Jedi, and then I was like, no, screw this movie.
No. Last Jedi, I was out of it, and I immediately hated that movie. No, and it's not like because like the Mortal Kombat movie before this, them doing the whole trying to explain the powers thing. The first time I saw it, I was like, this is really stupid, but I guess it's fine. And then as it went along, I was like, no, actually, I hate everything about this. Why are we wasting our time with this? What the hell is going on? The thing with Shao Kahn, it's like it happens and it sets up some stuff for a very specific reason, and that very specific reason is kind of just so we can see more fights with Shao Kahn. And because it leads to more fights with Shao Kahn, on that side of it, I'm okay with it. But then in terms of what it's doing to the story, I'm like, I kind of hate that. But unlike the first movie where it's like, oh, hey, we're gonna spend all this time explaining the powers, and it's just really, really dumb, and I hate it. This is like, hey, we're gonna make this little tweak. We're gonna do this thing to Shao Kahn, but it's gonna make it so that we can watch him fight a lot more. I'm like, okay, I hate that you had to establish this, but I'm kind of okay with watching Shao Kahn just absolutely rip people apart for a couple more fights. So I guess that's fine. But yeah, yeah, that is that thing that I
The
will not explain.
yeah, I know what it is. It's the ex machina thing of this. It's the dagger from
Uh, I,
the Rise of Skywalker.
okay. Yeah,
No,
don't.
no, it's not. It's not. No, it's not that. Because again, that was that's beyond stupid.
Okay,
This
okay.
is something that like it exists in the game. There's kind of there's a little bit of a precedent for it, but I just didn't like the fact that it was used in this movie to this way,
Okay.
and
Because
I wasn't. Yeah, that's the part that I wasn't necessarily
um,
a fan of. But the rest of it, like the fighting, is fine. Katana is really well done. Jade is a good character, and how that's handled. The fights are really cool. Again, Kung Lao versus Liu Kang, fantastic. Absolutely love that fight. That alone is probably enough to. I mean, I don't with movie ticket prices these days, unless you've got like the Cinemark
I
club thing
do.
where you
I
just
do.
get free tickets.
free
So if you got
goes.
a free ticket, if you got a free ticket to burn, go check out Liu
I
Kang
got.
fight Kung Lao, and
I've
it's a good
got
time.
10.
So
I got 10 of them. I just
Oh, there
haven't
you
been
go.
able to go to the movie. I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go see several movies and just kind of get caught up on stuff.
one of the things I do know is that something is said by Liu Kang that makes it connected to the video games and connect it to Mortal Kombat 1.
The first movie or the
No,
first game?
no. So after 11, Liu Kang became the fire lightning god
Lightning, yeah.
because Raiden gave him his abilities and became an elder god because he felt that Liu Kang was the best choice to become the next elder god to disarm the world. Well, Liu Kang won the tournament, got Chromia's abilities, and reset the world. But in the game, you find out in one that he went through multiple iterations until he got to the point we got in Mortal Kombat 1. So it is hinted at that this is one of the one of the timelines he created to see if it would work. And he says something in the game or in the movie that kind of makes hints of this.
So
And
they Dark Tower this?
uh more like
Not exactly.
Liu Kang leaves the universe. I won't say anymore. But and then the
Yeah.
universe continues.
But that's kind of the setup for whatever's coming
Whenever
next.
the third one,
Is
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, there's that.
But I did
But
hear that like Carl Urban, Johnny Cage is one of the best characters in the movie.
Of
the
Like
best
course.
his
the best character in the entire movie by far, without any ifs, ands, or buts, is
yeah.
Kano. Kano,
Oh yeah, I heard that
yeah.
Kano steals the show.
Kano is every time he's on screen. Basically, Kano is just there to dog on Quan Chi, because because Kano dies in the first movie, right? So Quan Chi is the one who brings him back,
Bring back,
and
yeah.
immediately he's just making fun of him. Like at one point, I think he calls him Voldemort's ballsack, and I lost it. I
Okay.
lost it at that moment. I was like, "Yes, this is fantastic." So yeah, Kano's great. It's
I see.
he's
I didn't
just
even know they're bringing it back. I was like, okay.
yes.
Yeah, he's in the
Sorry.
trailers. He's in the
Yeah,
trailers.
there you go. I was about to say I'm pretty sure I've saw him somewhere, but yeah, Kano's around just to dog on Quan Chi, just to like just one liner, just like making fun of him time after time. So if you need good, you know, Quan Chi jokes for, I guess whenever you're playing Mortal Kombat, you need to like dog on somebody and just like talk smack about him. Kano's got you covered. It's good
You're
times.
playing you're
But
playing
and
Mortal
then
Kombat Sub-Zero's mythologies,
yeah, there you go.
and you can use
But
those.
uh, but then yeah, and then there's parts where Johnny Cage and Kano are together and they're just riffing on each other, and it's good times.
You know, I, when it comes to superhero movies where the character is masked, or any kind of movie that's about a masked character, um, you gotta have an actor who is so comfortable with his ability, his body, his physical, his voice to put across emotion. Because a lot of actors don't want to do that. They want to take the mask off because they emote emotion through their facial features and their
Hmm.
eyes. And a good actor knows how to do that without those. They handicap they don't want to handicap themselves. Um, that's why when I knew Carl Urban would be great for Dredd because I saw
Oh
an
yes.
interview with him. He said, I'll wear the mask all day long. He's like, no, Dredd never takes it off. And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, okay, come on, Logan. And we went to go see it. And I went, oh, sorry, guy. I was like, don't look at some of it. And then Logan's like, what is it? And I was like, oh,
That
God, I
movie
didn't know
was
it was going to. I
gorgeous. That
did
movie
not.
still holds up today. How gorgeous that movie is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not for a young kid at the time.
There's there's
There's not that
there's
much.
tease down there for like a half a second, and
Second,
then
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and there was some pretty good violence in it too. I mean,
it's fancy. Yeah, it's good. It's
Hmm.
good stuff. But then I mean, even then, like unfortunately, the loser in terms of that was what's his name, Marsden, right? Because the original the singer Cyclops was
yeah,
like
yeah.
he kept the visor on. He did a good job. They just wrote him like crap, and
Wrote him horribly. Yes, and it gave him
like
a horrible costume.
No,
and then took him
no.
out in the
Have it
dumbest way.
have
Yeah.
him, yeah, obliterated by Gene. No.
Give me a kiss,
They
baby.
sh they should have just killed him after the who was the boy band in the car sequence when they stole his car or they were
Oh,
taking his car and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was like, okay, that is not Scott. Okay,
No.
you might as well kill him now because he'll never live that down. Um, but I'm glad that we're going to get a good Scott back. I can't wait to see him playing Scott in the good outfit, the Jim Lee. But then when we get the younger versions of everybody, I want to see who's going to play him. Because I thought the kid who was playing him from the first class on, I thought those are great casting for
Yeah,
everybody in there.
yeah, they did good with all
Um,
those movies. That was what reinvigorated X-Men, right? I mean,
yep.
Yes.
First Class knocked out of the park, then they went and they did Days of Future Past. It's like,
Past.
all right, we got
Yep.
something going. And then they kind
Yeah,
of screwed
they did
and then they
Apocalypse.
screwed the pooch after that, but they
Yeah.
had two good ones.
And I did not mind what's the actor? He played Moon Knight. He also played
Oh, Oscar
Apocalypse,
Isaac.
Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac. I didn't mind that story, but he just didn't feel like
He's
Apocalypse
not
did.
Apocalypse. That was so that no, that's not Apocalypse.
No.
I
I
thought
mean,
that they should have had him, they should have done the Egyptian story part of it, because where he goes in and he goes into the ship and he gets the super mutation. Um, and then from that point on, he could have done the voice, but he was
yes.
not Apocalypse. He didn't have that presence, you know. But from what I hear, they're going to do something with Jean Grey and Scott and Madeline Pryor and Scott Summers having cable and him having to go because what was the witches from the future? I'm horrible. Shankari or something like that,
I don't remember.
where Rachel and all of them. And so we might get a moment where we see where we're gonna get the future cable from, you know. And I know it's not gonna be Josh Brolin, but it
Well,
would
you know
be
what? Honestly, I think I'm gonna go back to it. Alan Richardson could do it because he's big and bulky, like Cable.
You know
well
what? Just have Alan Richardson play
Yeah,
every
just
play
have every
everything.
Alan
character.
Richardson needs to be Batman. They
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
do the Nightfall storyline. He could also
yep.
play Bane and just fight
I
No,
himself.
no. You know
break
what?
it,
If you're
break it.
gonna, I love him. He's a great actor. He can play anything. You know,
He was really good in a War Machine. That was really good.
yeah. I really
But
liked him in what was the one with him and Cavill,
Oh yeah, where they were
League,
playing
the Army, British Army,
yeah.
League of
Oh
Unsomething Men,
crap.
individuals or something like that. Man,
Yeah,
I
I
love
keep
that.
unfortunately Alan Moore has messed me up and I just keep wanting to think Extraordinary
Very
Gentleman, but
gentleman,
that's
yeah.
not it.
mhm.
Oh, so and when he was thinner and he was playing on Titans, you know, when he was playing
Yes, and it.
Hawk, that shape, I could see him playing Batman, but he is now a monster of dude. Man, he could play Bane. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to see him as
Well, he's
Batman.
supposed to play some character in the DCU universe we talked about quite a few episodes ago.
Well, they claim that they're doing a what is it? A Deathstroke and Bane like movie or something. I saw that the other day. I was like, what on earth?
A buddy picture.
A buddy
Yeah.
picture? Yeah,
That's
yeah.
an interesting pairing, but
It's
yeah,
Tango and
okay.
Cash, but Bane and
But Bane
Bane and
and
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke. Okay.
As long as he
I
does.
look, I feel awful for whoever they're going after because you're talking about two of the most intelligent villains
Jones,
Yes.
like
yep.
in DC
Yeah.
and also the two craziest killing machines that you could possibly have coming after you. It's the Ministry of
And
Ungentlemanly
like,
Affair or
I
Ungentlemanly Warfare.
fair, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting. That movie was so successful, and I've watched it dozens of times. Give me a freaking sequel for that. You know,
Cavill's too busy doing Warhammer and Voltron
and
and
then
And
yeah, I
all
know.
that.
And Highlander.
Highlander.
Oh, I'm so mad about what I've seen about Highlander, and I'm like, I fucked it up.
Isn't that our catchphrase? They just fucked it up.
They fucked it up.
We just said that like 4 times.
It's fine.
How do you ruin a movie like that? When you have Batista playing the Kurgan, oh, that is awesome. I knew that he was too big to play the Highlander, um, and he does have a powerful presence, but he could be the Crow. He has all that black outfit and everything.
Oh
That's
yeah, he
not
could be Eric
how.
Draven. Yeah, he could be. I could see
Um,
it if they did an actual to formed a comic
yeah, uh,
movie.
but he's just not.
I thought they already did that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wait, they
no,
did?
no.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I must have got hit by the memory whatever the thing
Uh,
from Men in Black.
Oh,
no,
were you like banging on the Hadron Collider yourself, trying to get
Yeah,
that thing to come out of
yeah,
like fall out of reality?
right.
Different
um,
timeline, different timeline.
I was trying to use it to forget that Star Wars Disney verse
I
happened, and it
got
just
messed
didn't
up.
work. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. So I was
yeah,
like, yeah,
that's what we need to do is we need to have one and connect it to all the
all the problems and
no,
all
the
of film
sky.
and
What is Musk's um I'm going to take over the
Oh,
universe
Starlink.
Starlink and just
neuron.
wipe out the last 15 years and we'll just proceed from there. Um
No, that's a movie we need to write a script for. Is about fans that are like they're tired of everything getting screwed up, so they go steal the Hadron Collider to like see if they could just
you
fix
can't
universe.
steal it. They siege it and take
Yeah, so,
over
well,
it.
hey,
But it'd be like Die
Yeah.
Hard in a
well, I mean,
super collider because I want to see the truck you're going to drive off with that thing with.
well, you could come up with a story. They have like some weird friend. He's like, yeah, I got this thing that'll shrink it down to pocket
Oh no,
size.
no.
You know
And
what?
we're
Since you're talking about comics, just have Brainiac come down and like shrink the whole
just
area
shrink
down
it
and put it
Yeah,
into
yeah.
yeah.
when I think of it, it kind of looks like Galactus's homeworld from the comics. All the tubes that run around, just raise it out of the ground.
There you go.
Uh, just get Magneto.
They're keeping in it. That's what it's being used for, actually. Like everyone's always, there's been all the crazy conspiracy theories about what it's being used for. It's to keep an Eternal at bay. That's what it's doing.
Yeah, it's sucking off whatever they need for energy. Not like that. No, no, no. Bad choice of words.
I was about to say,
Well,
are you telling me there's a giant fleshlight pump for an Eternal underground? Is that what this is?
For a minute, I was gonna go, no, it's Giant Woman from DC, but she's not in the Marvel universe. You know,
Oh, Giganta?
Giganta,
the
Yeah,
crossover episode. This is what this
crossover,
is.
the amalgam universe,
there you go.
Oh man.
where we
Good
can have
times.
Henry Cavill instead of it being who had Mighty Mouse. That wasn't Fawcett, right? They had I'm trying to remember who Fawcett Comics had,
Well,
but have
Fawcett had all. No, I'm thinking of Charleston now. I was about to say that was the one that Alan Moore used for the Watchmen, but that's Charleston. That's not Fawcett.
Yeah.
Fawcett was wasn't that
Captain Marvel,
Captain
right?
Marvel? Yeah,
Yeah, I
Captain
believe
Marvel
so.
was
Yeah.
Fawcett. Yeah.
Um, have crossover with Mighty Mouse and Superman and Amalgam Universe. It's Henry Cavill, but as small as a mouse. That would be great.
I could see that him doing the voice of Mighty Mouse.
Here I come to save the day. Yeah, yep.
Or we can get a live action or CGI cartoon of or movie of Danger Mouse.
Oh, I'd love that. I would love that. Just CGI it, man. Just
Yeah.
don't try to make it like the Smurfs, where it's like half human and half animated. Uh,
Well, real quick though, on the topic of animation though, if we're talking about upcoming movies and things that we were actually excited for, man, Laika Studios is so
oh,
awesome.
the
And their
new,
upcoming movie, the what
yeah.
Wildwood, right?
Wildwood, yeah, man,
Yeah.
that
Oh my
looks
God, that looks so
fantastic.
good. What I didn't realize, and all of a sudden I saw like a bajillion videos come out after that trailer came out of explaining that Laika Studios has lost money on every single movie they've ever put out, which is crazy to me. And they're like, but how do they keep putting out mon these movies? Have any of y'all heard of how Laika keeps like
No,
where Laika puts movies out from? So, uh, go thank Nike because apparently one of the co-founders of Nike had a son. That son is super into animation. And so that the son of the co-founder of Nike is the CEO of Laika Studios. And so Nike basically bankrolls this Nepo baby into making amazing stop motion movies. That's Laika.
how do they not make money? I don't understand it because Coraline, they sold
Well,
tons
Hey
of
baby.
the
but it's like this movie's been in development for 15 years,
yeah, a long
which
time.
is
Yeah.
Oh wow.
crazy.
I love it. I love the genre that they're dealing with. It has that
It looks
Kubo
really
feel.
good. Yeah.
Um, so
And it's sad we need more clay animation stop motion stuff. We don't
oh
get a
yeah.
lot of that like
Well,
that.
there's his puppets. It's not clay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it, but
Well, I mean,
um,
Kubo was all.
I mean, they
It
use a
was.
little bit of it in there, but a
Yeah.
lot of
it's
it is puppets that they've put
Mm,
together.
that
yeah.
they've made. Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like what they did with Tim Burton's Nightmare on Christmas. Those were stop animation, but they were puppets that they would change out the face,
Face and
that
everything.
they'd have a face, and then they could put multiple things on it, and it made it easier to animate than when it's like the old stop animation from what Harryhausen and all those other guys did, where they've got to manipulate the mouth and everything and film it slowly. It makes the process quicker for them. And so, um, but yeah, I mean, Paranorman, I mean, all of those. Geez, man, I've bought every one that they've ever had. And then my grandkids
They're
steal them.
amazing.
Yeah,
They are amazing
Hmm.
movies, and like, and it's so crazy to like just see. And it's just the like level of detail and care and just
Goes into it.
everything that
Yeah.
it is the very like everything they put out is the very definition of a passion project is what it feels like.
feels like
You
it.
can just tell that because I mean if you're going to sit there and devote that amount of time and resources and it's not just like a bunch of CGI work is really, involved and it takes a lot to do that to do it right, but like to handcraft all of the stuff that goes into like with physical materials and then having to shoot those all
Well, and
those
just
little things just
look
like
at the
frame by
detail
frame by frame. It's
the
so
detail they
good.
put into the cities and the prop.
Hmm.
It's not just the characters, it's everything that's
Everything.
Everything.
involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. It's so
And
good.
and they respect children. They
Yep.
don't they know what children are capable of and can learn from. They don't push them too far, but they don't treat them like ignorant, or just they're just there to
Yeah.
make money off of.
Right. It's
And
it
there's
leaves a
oh
it's a message. There's
yes,
always something there to gain from it other than the entertainment factor.
And they don't have to sit there and narrate like what the character is doing,
doing yeah.
right? Like I watched what was that stupid movie with 11 with the dragon Damsel.
Damn well yeah, it was
Earlier
Damsel.
this year, I watched Damsel with the wife and daughter, and like there were multiple points in the movie where you had Millie Bobby Brown just like vocalizing what she was doing, and I'm like, why do you need to say it? Just
Show.
do it.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
we're watching this movie, we can see what you're doing, and if you're not like if you have two brain cells that you can like gently rub together, you understand like what you're doing.
It's
It's so stupid that you have to
it's Blade
say it
Runner.
out
It's
loud.
Blade
It's
Runner
like so
again. It's
dumb.
Blade
Well,
Runner
no,
with the
no, no,
narration.
no, no. I happen to prefer the narration because I grew up watching the old
I know,
gang,
film noir,
the
the
old
old detective stuff.
detectives, and that's what that was. It was an old detective
It
story. It was noir
hmm
with that was built around neon. Um, but
Well, there's a certain type of storytelling where it's from the first person's perspective of
yeah,
like they're narrating
Yeah,
what they're
but
doing and everything. But
she's literally in a cave. No one else is there. And she's sitting there doing this thing, and then she says that she's doing the thing. Like I can't remember. It's been a couple months, and the movie wasn't
I
memorable
didn't
enough
watch
for
it.
me to care.
Yeah.
oh, I thought it
Uh,
was
the,
pretty
the wi-
decent.
the wife and daughter watched it. It was fine. I was having more fun making fun of it as it was going along because there were multiple points where I was like, this dragon is just objectively an idiot. Um, but yeah, there was a couple moments in it where she was it's like she was putting together a torch and she's like, I have to put together this torch so I can see. And I'm like, why why are you vocalizing this to yourself in this moment? It doesn't make sense. And it's just like but it's just a thing that certain movies do where for whatever reason, and I feel like it's insulting to the intelligence of the audience. It's like I need to tell it's like this need to I need to tell you what I'm doing and the rationale behind it because you might not know. It's like, well, if I'm looking around and I see that you're in a dark place and then I see you putting together the thing and then you light it, I understand you're making something that it allows you to see. I don't need you to vocalize out to the world to only yourself
Only
because there's
yourself, yeah.
no one, and you haven't been stuck down there long enough to start going in. Like if she was stuck down there for weeks and was starting to go crazy, it's like, oh, okay, she's talking to herself because she needs that that humanity part, right?
Yeah.
But that's not what was happening. She was down there like the same day, and yet she's vocalizing a bunch of stuff to herself. I'm like, why are you doing this? Stupid. But that's going back to again with Laika and their movies and all that. Their characters don't have to do that. It's
No,
it's
and you shouldn't
it's
have
the
to.
intelligence of the kids. They just allow the characters to do actions, take these actions, do these things, and it just flows out of the story, and you're able to easily follow it along. And it's good storytelling. It's just great
Well,
stuff.
and
And then
that's
the
where there's
animation's
like a
really
whole
good
lot of
too.
oversight, right? So he has the studio. The studio does its own thing. It has its own funding for it.
Yeah.
So there's no studio going, "Hey, we watched this. We feel that you need to add something here," and they push
Oh, it's not
whatever
driven,
perspective.
right. It's
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
project. It's not
It's
studio
Hmm.
just
driven.
their vision.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. And
But
that's and that's what's so awesome about it. So hey everybody, a Nepo baby did something good. Thanks, whoever
yeah, don't make
the
fun of them
son of
because
the
I'd like to see more of those movies.
Yes. No, 100%. No, this is the thing. Like everyone always wants to talk bad about Nepo babies. Dude, you're crushing it, right? Like ma I want your studio to go forever, make a ton of these fantastic movies, knock it out of the park. I hope at some point it starts being profitable so that maybe more studios will pay attention to making good movies like this because we need so many more of them. And yeah.
I was watching what the hell was it? It's a brand new movie and I was watching it on I believe it was on HBO and I can't remember what the hell it was. That's how memorable it was. Um and in it, when you're watching a movie, you expect the character to do intelligent things. And when you see
Unless it's
them
a
do,
horror movie.
and then when you go, okay, that's stupid. Pick up, okay, pick that weapon, pick up the weapon. Okay, you picked up the weapon that has no bullets and you left the machine gun that is fully round there. And then he walks around. Oh, no, it wasn't the Punisher. And he was like, at one point, he pops the a guy right here, breaks the nose, and he starts bleeding. And then he throws the gun at somebody else who's running, and he grabs the gun out of his belt and he starts firing. But he keeps moving, just grabbing pistols. And there's all these friggin' machine
Oh.
guns and everything around. I was like,
Yeah, because it's not the Punisher. He was like anytime he would find something, he was
no, he
picking
was
it up.
picking it up. Yeah. And I was like, what are you doing? Um, and he let some guy go running away. And I was like, shoot him. Now he's going to go around the corner and get those other guys and come pop his ass. I was like, the common sense things in it. If you don't do that, man, I'm going to start screaming at the television. And it's just like when they go into a cave and it's pitch black, but they pass like material on the ground, they pass a bone, and they pass, like stuff that could be turned into a torch, and they're just walking around in the dark. I'm like, make a freaking torch, use your environment, figure out what's going on around you. Yeah, you deserve to die. I'm worried about you anymore. And those are the movies that really drive me nuts because they have to dumb down their characters so much that it becomes unrealistic. Give them some common sense, give them, and then amp up the danger that they face.
Hmm.
Don't,
Well,
because
I think the thing is have forgotten that you can tell a story without like our audiences are too dumb. So we have to narrate in a way like they're just consumers. They don't, or like they're a child that doesn't know that you need to take plastic wrap off of like a pastry before you eat it. You know, it's just like I don't understand where we
They
are in
choke on
society. Yeah,
they're worried that you're going to
we're
choke
not
on that
like
sticker that's on the apple.
we're not a right. We're not children that are like infants anymore, or like firstborn babies that we have to worry about these things. We're kind of adept. We went to school, we have read books, so we don't have to like tell our stories in a way that they're invalids or they don't know any better.
damn
It's
it,
like
Bobby, my
how do you how do
boy,
you
right?
how do you
You
make a peanut
failed
butter
English,
jealous?
Bobby. You speak English.
Oh,
It's like,
Uh,
how do you make a peanut butter jelly sandwich? Well, you grab some bread, you grab your peanut butter, and you put it, do the process. You don't need to describe how you do it. Like,
I mean, if you got a child who's eats all the honey buns, but he doesn't pull them out of the plastic, you got to go take him fishing. You got to go take him for a walk in the woods, you know,
gotta go take a look at the flowers that you're talking about.
flowers.
you want to know why that his body can digest the plastic and it not kill him. So
Well, hey,
he may be a mutant,
we're turning into that now. Everything we eat has plastic pieces
right?
in it, you know.
Uh, yeah.
Maybe what we're missing is that was like some ancient folklore of that was how you could tell if your child was a changeling. Is you put the honey bun in the microwave
The
and you heat
microwave,
it
yeah.
up and like you seal the plastic around the honey bun and then you give it to the child and you watch and if the child eats the honey bun and doesn't question the plastic then you're like, "Yep, changeling. We gotta haul
Yeah,
you out. We gotta put you in a cage of cold iron and haul you out into the woods."
a
I, I
doppelganger,
I was listening to well, like the fairies had come in and
a
switch out the
gremlin.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a documentary on folklore and things like that, and they were talking about that story. But this girl, the mother swore that she wasn't her daughter and said she was a changeling that the fairies took her kid, and the girl went and accused her mother of being a witch, and they killed the mother.
There
They
you go.
tortured her, and they,
Jesus.
it was like, wow, it was really messed up back then, wasn't it? No,
Yeah. Well,
I
maybe
can't,
maybe that's
I can't have that dessert. Witch.
maybe that's how the changelings got away with it. They got into the gene pool of humanity. They just
I can see some people that fit into that gene pool. You know,
Yeah, yeah. We won't get into politics here, but
no,
yeah,
we're
we can
not
totally
gonna.
see some stuff like that.
Uh,
Uh, well,
If you want to watch a good movie about fairies, go watch The Hallow.
I think that's on my list. In
It's
my
fantastic.
yeah.
It's
There's
fantastic.
another new one too. Oh, and then what's the one where the people are trapped in the woods in a bunker with the big glass, and there's demons, and they're actually fairies and monsters in the
Oh, is that
woods,
and
and
that
it
didn't have Dakota Fanning in it,
I think
right?
it did, yeah.
Was that
I haven't watched that one. I don't know.
oh my
Well,
God, Twist Man,
no, it wasn't that.
Signs. Was it M Night? Wasn't that in the latest M Night movie? Am I crazy?
No, I don't know because this one's older than the what was the last? Because the last M Night movie I saw was the old where they were
Yeah,
at
where they're on the
that
beach.
beach.
Well, the
Yeah.
one after that was the one about the guys that came during the apocalypse, and they tried to get the two guys to kill each other,
Oh,
or
the
the second
fan
one.
that
Oh,
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was his
yeah.
daughter. It's M Night's daughter. That's it was called The Watchers.
The Watchers.
Mm.
Yeah, and the book is so much better. And it really plays up on Celtic folklore and stuff like that. And now I have a new appreciation for that movie.
And then, you're talking about going to go see what
Mando and
there we
Grogu,
go,
or
Mando and Grogu. Meanwhile, my daughter's like, I want to go see the back rooms. I'm like, we're gonna go see the back rooms, I guarantee you.
Well, there's the Backrooms. What's the other one about the girl and the guy who are traveling? And there's an accident on the road, and it revolves around a fetish wooden doll that has to deal with
I don't know if
it's
I've
like
seen
a
the trailer.
it's like a mirror creature, and it can't do anything. It's like a kind of a possession, but it never can possess you. And as long as it latches onto you because you've got a secret you're hiding, and as you hide that secret and they do things more and more to protect it, it gains more and more power over you. And that looks good to me, but um I'm just kind of hesitant about where it's going. Because remember when that guy and his girl went on that traveling? They were going into Winnebago and or not a Winnebago, the van, and they were traveling, and their little trip started out right and okay, and then he ended up killing her, or he's been accused of killing her. I don't even know if the trial ever happened, because she disappeared, and he said he was looking for her. Then he drove home, and his parents protected him by trying to hide where he was and all that other stuff. It was a
Oh
real
yeah, then it
thing.
turned out they like died in Florida because like the area flooded or something. Or no, he fled to like somewhere in Florida and then it
Florida, yeah.
flooded and he
Yeah.
drowned out there and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
That's
that was
that's
crazy.
a vibe I'm getting from this, and I'm like, okay, are we going to tell that story? But it's the thing, this mirror demon that is going to drive him to kill her, and I'm hoping it's got a little bit better story than that. And then the other thing I can't stand is what is with all these horror movies where they're not really horror movies. They're about um I don't even know if I want to go on this subject. It's just not what you think it is. Like the one where the I hear them whisper or whatever that where the kid is watching the TV show. I mean, he's watching the TV and he thinks it's talking to him. And it had to do with abuse or something like that. That's it's not what you think it is in the end. I hate that. I just if you're gonna if you're gonna be it's gonna be a horror movie, let it be a horror movie and not something else.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
So you're not a fan of elevated horror, is that what you're saying?
elevated horror.
elevator horror, yeah.
No, 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 elevated
I
horror. So
know.
like,
I was playing on words. Like what is it? The one Varium where the guy who played from the video game where he hits people and they turn into change.
Oh, Scott Pilgrim, you're talking
Scott
about
Pilgrim, him and his wife are looking for a home. They get invited to go to these homes, and they all look like track homes. Everything is identical, and then they get stuck in the community, and they try to escape, and all of a sudden this little baby shows up, and the only person they actually interact
Michael
with
Cera.
is the one who's trying to sell them, or was the one who tried to introduce him. That is a messed up movie. It was. I was like, okay, such a downer.
Here's a movie idea. It'd be a Fallout movie, right? It's like, it's a couple. They just take that whole premise, but it's like they end up going to this neighborhood, and it's like, oh, it's kind of 1950s style. They're like, oh, man, this is pretty cool. I like this aesthetic, and then they meet a realtor, and he's like, yeah, this is the house. We're really about this whole like 1950s retro architecture and everything, and then they're there, and it's like then the bombs drop, and it's like they didn't realize they got somehow transported into the Fallout universe.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah, it would.
No,
I mean,
no,
it'd be short
it would be really
unless you
sure.
got ghoulified.
Yeah.
Right? Well, then you just have the first
Or you
year.
have a golden bunker that you can go hide in. Sorry.
Well, all that stuff would
Uh,
have been Vault-Tec.
uh, um, no, there's a new one with what's his name? The guy who played Doctor Octopus.
Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina.
Milena. Yeah, he's like going into the retirement village, and him and some of his friends, they're gonna move in and everything. It looks perfect. And then I can't tell if it's aliens or demons or there's something. And so it starts off with that kind of old music, the retired people. It's kind of like Cocoon meets Damien, the the uh the Omen. I'm
Oh yeah,
like,
that'd be weird.
I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting, and it's on Netflix right now.
Then Wilford Brimley shows up, and he's all like, "Well, you got some for that diabetes? So maybe some oatmeal, Quaker oats." I'm sorry. I'm
There's
sorry.
there's a
That's wrong.
movie that they could do, a franchise that's been dead for a while. Do a third Cocoon movie,
Cocoon.
but a next generation where they come back and find out that some of the people are dead and all that other stuff, and it's you kind of introduce a whole new generation to them.
You could do that, or you could do Close Encounters, where Richard Dreyfuss characters come back with that
Uh,
kid.
but Close Encounters. Um,
I mean,
Come on, it used to be.
If we're gonna talk Wilford Brimley and dead movie franchises, bring back Remo Williams.
oh, yeah, and
Yes,
we
yes.
remake Remo Williams and get the guy who plays the Punisher in it to play
Oh, I
him.
could see John
Play
Bernthal. I
Remo.
could see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
But
see it. I could see
I
it.
want them to do it just like the original Remo Williams, where like the only different like he has the mustache, and then whenever he gets in a horrible accident, like, oh wait, we had to do all this crazy
Reconstructive
reconstructive
surgery,
surgery
and
on
he
you,
has no
and they
And,
just
mustache.
shave the
and he just
mustache, and
saved the
that's all that's
mustache.
changed
Yeah.
about.
Right.
It's like, yes,
I
That's what
mean,
I need in my life. Come
and
on.
that
Okay.
that was Fred Ward, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it's Fred
Yes.
Ward.
I really hate
Yes.
Yeah,
that
so
he
John
died.
Bernthal would be perfect for it because I now look,
Well, remember
we don't want Pedro Cash Cow,
that's
payroll
the
cash cow to be the person for that role.
You
that
want to
comes
know
from
what? Actually, have Pedro Pascal be him
Oh,
pre-accident.
before accident.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
And just to
yes.
fake everybody out, have Pedro
Oh
there
no,
just to
no,
get in the
no.
accident,
Have
Come
and
on,
then
have
John
have
Bernthal come in.
have
We're gonna crowdfund this, guys. We're gonna create a Kickstarter so we can make
have,
this movie.
have Pedro Pascal be the ancient
Oh God,
Chinese
yes, the guy who
that
yes.
teaches him the master of
The
assassin.
master.
Oh my God, what was his name?
Oh, he was a
Chun.
dancer.
Chun.
Chun,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
He was played by Joel Grey, the the dancer. I was like, oh,
Yes.
that's funny. And when he ran, when he tiptoed across the
It's the
sea,
water.
uh,
Yes.
Hold
but
on.
those were from the Destroyers book series, and
Yep.
there's tons of stories you could do right there.
Right. So then
Don't
you
get
could
me
have it to
started
where
on Vampire Hunter D.
then we could just make like Buckaroo Banzai come in there somehow, and it will it'll be the crossover between
I'm
Buck and
sorry,
Remo.
I don't want, I don't want any other act. Just like I don't want anybody else to play Highlander, I don't want somebody else to play
Buckaroo.
Buckaroo because
I mean, well, here, who would you cast? I mean, just think of that. If it never got made back in the day, it was being made today. Who would you cast as Buckaroo?
I don't know, but who an actor who can play that kind of off
Peter Weller.
kilter,
I know.
Peter Weller, that because his acting is he's got that serious side, and then he can go nutso on you for a minute, and he can just I don't know. You guys tell me which actor could do it. Seth Rogen. I don't know.
No, no, because it'd be Green Hornet again. No,
Yeah,
And
which
then
I
wasn't
don't
like
know.
bad. Which wasn't
Dumbledore.
bad, but it wasn't great.
And and have him Buckaroo Jr. and he's his son, and that you can have Jeff Goldblum come back and play Tex,
Yeah,
and he's kind of mentoring him about his dad. You
you can do
know,
that. Yeah. So what younger actor could do that then?
oh, I don't know. Well, I'm trying to think of different young actors that they're. I think Timothy Chalamet could play it. He could play that kind of off kilter, kind of just not right kind of guy.
Just he needs to turn from his Paul to his Wonka. Is
His
that what he
Wonka.
needs to
Yeah,
be
kind of walk
code
that line
switching between
between
them?
both of them. Yeah. Make
Well,
sure
hey, I'm
I'm
totally
there.
down if we could crowdfund like making Remo Williams, The Adventures of Remo Williams. I would totally be down for that. Let's write the script and
Yes.
then figure and
With and do exactly what we said. Pedro Pascal up
Pascal.
front,
yes, and then
Yeah.
John
and then
Bernthal.
swap him out with
Yes,
John
Yeah.
Bernthal, and then we'll call
yes.
it good.
Oh man,
Yeah, because I imagine that I know that that Bernthal didn't want to be Punisher. He didn't want to play Frank
Really,
Castle originally. And he was like, I don't want to do a comic book
a
movie and all this
common.
other stuff. And
but
I
he
was
had a
like, but
legit
you
reason
did
why,
you did Walking Dead. You're gonna
right?
say but
But he had a legit reason why because there was such he was like because of the fans were so passionate about this, he didn't want to ruin the character.
right. But he also did he saw him two-dimensionally. And it wasn't until he started reading the comics and started understanding the character, and he goes, whoa, this character is deep. There's a lot of different ways I can play it.
Better
And
than
he
Shane,
and he's
100% better than Shane.
um I'm sorry, but uh out of all the Punishers that we've had, um I liked the Dolph Lundgren one.
Hmm.
It felt like an old comic. Just hated the outfit. Um, we had
Well, remember, there's that
Tom
cut of it
Jane.
that has him where he has
Thomas
it.
Jane, but it didn't feel like a Punisher movie. It felt like just an FBI movie where the guy's going to get his revenge. Um,
But like the
but that
mini
and the
movie
way,
he did, the
yes,
mini movie
the
he did
mini
felt
movie
more like the
felt.
Punisher.
Well, no, I think at the end it got to feel like the Punisher. When he went and started taking out the bad guys finally, and
Hmm.
that whole fight scene with the car and then the Russian dude, man, that was fantastic. That was my favorite part in the movie. um
Ray
when
Stevenson.
Yeah, Ray Stevenson.
he
Super.
stabs him in the shoulder, and then takes it out, sticks him again, and the Russian's like, I don't feel a thing.
Kevin Nash, man.
Um, and yes, I mean Ray Stevens was the Punisher for me. That uh Warzone, what was Warzone, right?
Yeah, Punisher
Yeah, it's a
Warzone.
Warzone.
But it felt like Frank Castle towards the end of being the Punisher. It didn't feel like that Frank in his righteous rage version of him yet. Um, but he felt like him. He had his mannerisms were there. He had that where he could be compassionate in 1 second and just take you out in the other. Um, but I think, you know, Bernthal is he has now become like I felt bad when I first saw what's his name playing Wolverine. Um I was
Hugh
like,
Jackman.
hell, Hugh Jackman. I was like, oh hell no. Man, I saw that and he had to grow on me.
Well, Downey
And
Jr. did it for you too.
yeah,
For
well,
for
for Tony Stark, no, I always thought he was because I'd seen him. It was Michael Keaton in Batman that I when that first they
that's true,
first aired
true.
that, I
That's true
was like,
too.
oh hell no. And I was staying up one late watching cable and the one where he was the cop, um, and he's all burned out and then he his partner or somebody else, and he has to
Clean and
help that
sober.
woman
Is that the
clean and
one you're talking about?
sober. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, okay, man, he's got the range. Because up until then, he didn't do anything like that. He was all comedies. And I was like, okay, I could see that.
Well, same
Um,
thing with Christian Bale until like he did Equilibrium. That's what kind of defined him to be capable to play
well, he
Bruce
played.
Wayne.
Remember, he did the mechanic, and he did all those movies
Well,
Right.
where
But a lot
Machinist
of
was
people,
after
the
Batman,
yeah,
machinist.
it was after
but that was
Batman.
But
after
I
Batman though.
didn't see it until after Batman.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, where he lost all that weight, and I saw that on cable. But that was his kind of movie, though, for a while. That kind of where he method actor, that kind of role. And then I was like, he's too short. There's no way he can play Batman. And he did a fairly good job, but he could not exist outside of his universe. He was a Batman for that universe and
Universe
nothing
only.
else.
Yeah.
I kind of feel the same way with Pattinson. You know, they've taken him into a direction where it's going to be I can't see him with a Robin. I can't see him with any of that. It's just him in this much darker, realistic universe where they've already blended characters because,
Well, he's still too young. The thing is like he's not even like officially seasoned, but he is more of a detective than we've ever gotten out of any live
yes,
action
yes,
Batman,
of any live action Batman. Yeah.
which is a bonus. I mean, that's I can't say that enough. We've always wanted Batman to be more the detective than we ever get in any of the
Yeah.
films.
Well, and the fact that he needed to, I always they killed off Rachel Gould in the first friggin' movie, so we never got to hear him call him the detective because
Yes.
it was like God. Um, but I wanted to see him like in disguise because Batman didn't just always be Batman. When he went into to look at a crime scene or to go in, he blended in with the area he was going to go into, and we didn't get that kind of Batman. He was technically uh, a, a a detective, but he didn't go in and find the clues like we Batman would, where he'd go in and he's looking around, all of a sudden he'll find a hair. He goes, analyzes the hair, figures out where it's from, then he keeps tracing things down, and then he
The hours that Bruce would spend in the Batcave
Batcave, yeah.
just researching whatever he needed to do. Like it's amazing his body just didn't fatigue out because of the fact that how much he was running it
He
on
was man, he was on
both
uppers,
ends.
man. He was cranking, man. I'm joking, but and you know what? The Justice League Batman, Ben Affleck, I thought that was fantastic. I just didn't like that they played him when he was Bruce, he was like a seasoned kind of
Yeah,
person, but the minute he became Batman, he was more the Batman from Batman Returns. And I didn't want to see that. I wanted to see Batman coming into his prime and then will take you for a couple of movies, to get us through.
that's the problem is that he never really got official movie of his own
No, he
to
didn't.
stretch his
And
legs.
twice they killed him. He had two times he was going to get a Batman movie, and twice DC screwed him on that.
Mhm. Because that's what it needed. I mean, like as much as we complain about Man of Steel, the Dawn of Justice, the Justice League movie, Bruce should have, I mean, Affleck should have been given the chance to be Batman so we
Yeah.
could see his chops. And it should have been someone else directing that than Schneider.
And I needed to see Batman working out. Not okay. Remember in Batman Returns, he was lifting a lot of weights because he was compensating for his age, and he knew he wasn't as fast as he used to be, and he wasn't as agile as he used to be. So he was going to compensate by putting
Raw
on
power.
mass, raw power.
Yeah.
It's basically what they did with Rocky when they and was it the Rocky Balboa? He goes, you can't outfight this guy. You got to hit him and you got to punish him. You got to put on mass, and that's where we were with that. It would have been great to see Affleck doing martial arts, see him doing acrobatics and keeping his body limber and everything.
Well, we got
But
to see him
no,
do the ropes.
yeah, well, that's um, we have yet to see a definitive Batman. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I agree with that. I mean, yes, we can all say who our favorite actor who played Batman with their portrayal, but like none of them have lived up to, other than Kevin Conroy with his voice and what was done
And he did
with.
more with a voice than
Yes,
some of
yeah,
these
he did.
guys did with all their them being physically in a movie.
Because everything we talked about has been in one of the animated series
Yeah.
episodes, and we got Bruce Timm to thank for that.
Yep.
Um,
Again, having somebody who loves and understands the material and can take it from the written page and follow what and offer things to the fans and bring them in and to bring in new people to become new fans. It was never, I mean, the Adventures of Batman and what that was the second one. The first one was what called what was the first animated? Because they
Batman the
split it.
animated
First
series.
animated was Mask of the Phantasm,
No, 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 I
Oh
got
no, not
that.
the
No, I'm
movie.
talking about the series.
right?
Yeah, Batman animated series.
Batman animated series, and then they changed it like in the fourth season, and it became the
Oh,
Adventures of
the New
Batman,
Adventures of Batman and
Batman and
Robin.
Robin. Yeah. Um, I wanted, I want to see that Batman on his own, and when he matures, he takes on that fatherly figure, and then we get to see him raise him. We're gonna get Damian in this. We're gonna. They're still saying that Dick's in it, Jason's been around. They're all these characters, but it's young Bruce. He's got Damien. What was he, 16 years old when he knocked up what's her
Talia.
Talia.
Natalia,
Yeah.
and then he had like Dick for like 3 months, and then he moved him out, and he got Jason Todd for 3 months, moved him out. You know, they're not. They're just trying. I like that they're not doing origin films, but I think they're trying. They're still not building the characters up.
Hmm.
Marvel built the characters up. You see them from the beginning to their end. Tony Stark is the best example of that. Great story arc for him. We that's what we need to do with Bruce. Um, and I don't think we need to have. We know his origin, so we need to start with him like year two, year three with the movie. Let him grow as a character for a little bit. Let the audience get to feel for him and
Hmm.
understand. Let him build up his rogues gallery, and then introduce Dick. I don't want to go straight to Damien. Um,
You could do three movies with Batman,
and
and
each one
then
is
and
like
then
so many years
yeah, like
jump
do
between those.
do a prequel Star Wars where it's like the year one, and then jump 10 years, so it's like year 10. So he went from like 24 to 34, and then in the third movie he's maybe not even do like 10 years. You could do 5 years, so he's like almost 40, and then bring in Dick. And if you want, you could jump even further where it's like, okay, Tim happened and all that stuff, and then Damien's around, so he's like at least close to his 50s. But like it just seems like there's just this long history for Bruce Wayne of things that have happened, but it all seems like it took place in like a couple of days or a couple of years. It's not like it really didn't, because it's how do you translate that to film? And you could do it, but you just have to do it right. So maybe
Yeah,
not even like 10 years, you could do 5 years. It's a 5 year jump. So he went from 25 to 30.
yeah. Okay,
And
your one movie is him alone. Second movie is where he brings on Dick and to introduce Two-Face and all the whole origin
Have a reason why he needs to have a partner or
a
someone
partner.
that
Well,
decides that
and
they want
play
to
up
take
on
up
the
the
fact
mantle.
that he's so worn out and tired of the villains. He needs that human to reconnect to his humanity. And
Yeah,
that's
because
what
he's
the
becoming
kid
a
that's
machine.
what all the kids did for him in the comics. They grounded him, you know, because what happened when they weren't around anymore? He went straight to being overly violent.
Hmm.
He was
Dark Knight
always
Returns. I mean, that's the
always
prime example
always
of like the worst
borderline
version of him.
borderline about to commit the crime. He had to keep reminding himself that if I kill somebody, that then I'm no better than they are. I've got to keep this line or I'm gonna, I'll lose myself. The
And that
kids took
needs
some
to
of
be
that
the
away.
lesson, right? That may need to be the lesson, is that something happens. He's like, "Whoa, I am on the verge of becoming the guys that I have been taking into Arkham," and that's when the whole thing happens with the Graysons, and he decides that he's going to take in Dick, and then
Yeah,
you do that.
I want Dick to be about 12, maybe
Yeah.
13. I don't want him to be who was the one from the movie? I'm
Oh,
18.
Christopher.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, no, no, no.
No, Chris
No?
O'Donnell.
Oh, Chris O'Donnell.
Oh.
I'm 18, 19 years old, but I need to be adopted. No, you need a job. You need to get out on
Get
your
out on your
own.
own. Yeah, yeah.
I was like, no. And then
Yeah.
they couldn't build up Barbara to where because Bruce knew her through Commissioner Gordon. No, they got to go straight to having Alfred's niece, and she's an adult. I was like, were they afraid to have that kind of dichotomy? Because
Well, part
it
of it
would
is
be,
that how old Gordon was, the actor they chose to play Gordon in those two movies. I
yeah.
mean, oh, the three movies at that point. So I mean, she would be just as old as as Robin at that point. I don't know. I
But
There's something here that's missing, and just as much as Superman is the center of the DC universe, so is Batman, if not more.
well, they're the yin and yang of the universe.
Mhm.
Batman is the dark side, the one who's willing to, I'll break your arm. I won't kill you, but you're going to wish you were dead. And Superman is the one I will give you multiple chances. And because he knows if he ever crosses the line, he knows what's going to happen to
Yeah, he
him. And
knows. Yeah, exactly.
um, and so they're the yin and yang of the DC universe. And Wonder Woman becomes the Holy Trinity because she's the balance between the both of them. And so you got to get those three together if you're going to have a viable universe
Hmm.
as the core. And then you explore all the other heroes and bring them
Well, and
slowly in.
it's good that we're getting the Lantern show. I know David didn't think that was ever going to come to reality.
It still hasn't come yet.
Still,
It isn't.
As
still
far
haven't
as
seen
by
credit.
going
Still
by,
haven't seen
Let's see
credits on that
credits,
first
right,
episode
right.
yet.
until he's watched it, it don't exist.
Um,
Nope.
Um,
but
um,
it's nice that there are, because we've at least established lanterns. We have Guy, we have Hawk Girl. They are established, but so having
I wanted to see Carter Hall. I know that they want to rush to the Justice League cartoon version, but I really wanted to see
Hawkman.
Carter Hawk, man, because that's my nostalgia. I want to see that group. Um, and I know they're gonna follow the cartoon. They're gonna make Carter Hall come in. They were dating her at some point. She's gonna be in love with John, and he's gonna end up being a villain when the Thangarians come. And I'm like, no, no, I don't want to see this. Give us They've already ruined what's his name? Well, I mean, they could reintroduce him, Starro, because they used him in the Suicide Squad, the second one.
Hmm.
And that was their first villain. That's what brought the Justice League together, was fighting him.
Right.
Um, but you know what I'd really
Well,
like to
remember
see?
that he's not even he's not the Suicide Squad is not part of the universe, though.
No, it's not. That's why I said they could use him again in
Yeah.
this. You know what I'd really like to see? Do you remember what was the The there were two of them, and they were like the origins of the Justice League, the Flash. They had all of them. They were fighting that island that was the one that had the dinosaurs on it.
Oh, are you talking about oh
I'm
God,
trying.
New Frontier?
New
New
Frontier.
Frontier.
The
That would be a great storyline to be have
Yeah,
begun with, um, because you bring in the island because it was dinosaur island,
right.
and it was sentient. We didn't know it. Um, that's a great villain. And then how they brought in the Martian Manhunter, all those characters that came in, and it was just well done
Hmm.
for it had that nostalgia feel, but it also had elements that were more modern. So it was a good go between. I just don't know where they're gonna go with what they're doing. I'm kind of lost. Why is Supergirl a drunk? You know,
Well,
um,
because the Woman of Tomorrow story.
I know. If
I mean,
that
that's
if that
literally what it's
I
from.
know what it's from.
Yeah.
Hell, if you want to do something like that, bring Power Girl in it, so at least I got something to look at. Um, the yes, I'm a perv.
I mean, they could
Um,
just run straight to the Absolute Universe and do those.
no. What was the other one? The one with the rock and all that other stuff. Um, Metal, the Metal Universe, where they're all
No.
rock stars and all that other garbage.
If they really want to confuse the hell out of people, go do the Tangent Universe.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
So what was the event? I'm trying to remember this one. I think I brought this up way, way back, but I'm trying to remember what was the event where the aliens show up and a lot of metahumans were created. It was like one of the
Legend.
byproducts.
It was Legends, or yeah, that was right after they revamped the
It was
Crisis on Infinite
92,
Earths,
and yeah, because
and
when
they
you had the
were
comic
that
shop, it was
yeah,
the
and they
storyline moving
they
around.
introduced the Superman from Man of Steel. They brought in Guy, resurrected him again, and he was back to being he had the big old steel belt, and he was the asshole that everybody hated. And that led into like the new Justice League International, that whole story. And they had the monitors, or what were the ones, they were that big head and the red circle on them. They're not the monitors, Dominion or Demonitors or something like that. And they were trying to metahumans were just exploding all over the planet, and they were coming in because that led into Invasion, and where they had the big war with them. They
Yeah,
gave they gave Hal a new origin and all that. It was a great starting point,
because
for the universe.
at that same time we had Marvel doing the 2099 universe, and then they also
Yeah,
did the was it the Marvel Now,
It was the Marvels universe, but yeah,
where they had introduced new
now
characters. Yeah, the
new
new Now
characters.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't. It wasn't Marvel though. It was an alternate universe that was created when Molecule Man punched a hole into a whole new universe, but it was black, and that became the Beyonder. That led into the Beyonder story and everything else. But when the Beyonder dies at the end of Beyonder 2 and he goes back in there, he creates the Now universe, which is no super they're superheroes, but there was the White event which started creating all kind of metahumans, and they had Cyforce, they had Justice, and Starbrand was from that universe,
Hmm.
and they actually made it as if it were a real universe. McDonald's was called McDonald's. There it was just real instead of like how in all the comics it's always off McDougal's or whatever. Um, and one that was one of my favorite was when they brought 2099 and the Now universe into the regular universe. Um, that those were pretty good stories. Um, but I
Yeah,
don't
because that's
worry
what.
about Marvel very much. But
Well, because
I
I'm looking forward to Spider-Man. I think this is going to be the best thing we've gotten in a while
Yeah,
with
but we're
Brandon
gonna
back.
get don't we get Spider-Man Noir next week?
Is it a
It's
streaming
gonna be
service?
it's gonna be on streaming
Yeah, it's
service.
it's
Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next week I cannot wait. Just all the list of people, versions of the villains that are gonna be in there. Um
Hmm.
Then there's and I'm up for some Crazy Cage stuff going on. Haven't seen good Crazy Cage in a
Crazy
while.
Cage in a while. Yeah.
Um,
Crazy Cajun.
yeah, and then the fact that they really played up and tricked a lot of people into thinking that we're going to get Man Spider and all that, and it's the total different storyline for it.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Which would have been nice if they did go the direction of Man Spider just for a little bit.
And this tells you what Disney still has their fingers in it because they were going to do Man Spider, and they were afraid that parents would not want to take their kids to it, and they see Spider-Man turn into
Well,
a man spider and possibly try to eat people. I was like, if they're reading comics, they know it.
they know it. Yeah. Well, if they've watched the original '90s cartoon, it happened there too. But I I know that we were supposed to get Grey Hulk in this, and it seems like he's not going to be Grey Hulk based off the figure. And
Yeah.
it's like, why? Again, you can't give us Grey Hulk. It's like,
Oh,
oh, the audience.
I wanted I wanted Mr. Fix-It. I didn't want to see. Okay, we knew that Bruce was in there. He's got the little thing that helps him keep everything under control. That he's no longer able to hold himself together like he was, and being the smart Hulk. And the natural progression from there, comic wise, would be the Gray Hulk,
Hmm.
the return of the Gray Hulk, and have Bruce, somebody manipulate Bruce. He becomes the Gray Hulk, and then you have him team up because Gray Hulk was smarter than the regular Hulk, and they're going to turn him back into the Savage Hulk. Um, and he was like dirty. He was a dirty fighter. I liked the Gray Hulk. I like Mr. Fix It. And then you could have had him go off and eventually have done another solo story with him as Mr. Fix
Mr.
It.
Fix It. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Well,
just
consider
wish, is it Universal that still owns him? I think it is. I wish they just give it back to Marvel so we can get
we can get
a
it.
standalone Hulk movie. As long
Um,
as they own it, there cannot be a standalone Hulk movie.
considering that, we know that Jean Grey is supposed to help him and or help Peter
Yes.
gain whatever is going on with him back, which is what the whole storyline originally was with Man Spider. It was she was going to help him find his way back to his body through the spider, whatever the
Yeah.
web of
The Spider
with Madam
God.
Web.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with Madam Web. Yeah.
but
Um, you know, I almost wish she was just Rachel Summers. And you kind of introduce her and then
you could have just
kind
had
of
her
do
as.
something new with her.
Hmm.
And then um when we get the end of War World, where we know everything's going to be rebuilt, the whole new universe, we're going to get all new actors playing everybody. Um, just go run with it and do something really cool because you're going to reboot the universe
Anyway.
at anyway.
Um,
Um,
and it sucks because you know you could have just made her Mary Jane Watson just because his
oh, the
love
red
interest in
hair, yeah, red
yes.
hair. Yep, you could have.
Instead of it being, oh yeah, because the other character's name MJ. It's like it gives him the reason why to call her that because Mary Jane Watson versus um
And then, or remember at one point it was supposed to be Gwen Stacy. They were
yes,
gonna,
I did hear
and
about
then
that.
they kind of broke that whole thing right out. And
Well, this would be the perfect time to add her. You add her in, have her be the love interest for at least a movie and a half. You introduce Green Goblin as a villain in the next movie, and then at the beginning of the movie after that, you have Green Goblin do the whole thing and kill Gwen, which makes him really realize the whole thing that sometimes you have
yeah,
to.
we've still
He
not
hasn't
met
learned that lesson yet.
we've not met Norman Osborn yet. The
Nope.
one of the
We're supposed
biggest
to meet Harry at this one.
villains, and Harry's in this one, but I guess through Harry we're gonna get Norman.
Hmm.
Um, but how do you create a big Marvel universe and you don't have one of the it's like having Superman without Lex Luthor, you know?
Well, and considering the fact that we had Kingpin as mayor, now he's been ejected.
Yeah,
Um,
and he's off on an island somewhere.
somewhere
We're not going to get that fight. He was supposed to appear at least in one scene, and that got
in this.
cut.
Yep.
And I'm like, I was looking for that because Daredevil wasn't the only person who fought Kingpin. Um, we didn't
Spider-Man run
even,
afoul of him all the time.
yeah, and then there's Punisher who went after Kingpin a few times, and we're never going to get that because I mean, what's the actor who plays um
Vincent D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio was saying that he will be back,
Yeah, he'll be
and I was
back,
like,
and
but are
he's
you
already
going to
yelled at both Sony and Marvel that they need to get their hands out of their asses and
asses? Yeah,
so he can fight Spider-Man because it's not right that like the one of Spider-Man's biggest villains is not. But same thing with Green Goblin. Green Goblin hasn't showed up in this
yeah.
universe at all, and he needs to. And I want classic. I know I can't make a say, but I want freaking the classic outfit for him. I want him to
Yeah,
be
well, I
wearing the
mean,
purple and green.
we had a
I know.
good looking version in what was it, the one with all the Spider-Mans in together.
No Way
Man,
Home?
No Way Home.
Or
No, that was it No Way
no,
Home? It was
Yeah,
the
no.
third,
Oh, come on. I just blanked on that too.
yeah,
Uh,
because it was Homecoming, Far From Home, and then
and
No
then
Way
No Way
Home.
No
Home.
Home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was fantastic. I loved that look for him. All of them.
All he needed was the mask.
Electro,
All he needed was the mask.
friggin'
Yes.
uh, Doc Ock, all of them. I mean, that was fantastic seeing them together and fight, in one movie together.
And this is the
Um,
closest we got the sinister
Six.
triplets.
Oh, yeah.
and what's funny is since they're going to do this, you could reintroduce William Defoe,
Oh yeah, you could. He's old enough
and
to still
because they're
play
going to
normal.
restart because all the universes are going to die except for a few, and they get fused together into War World. So who's to say? Well, we know that Tobey Maguire's universe doesn't make it
Yeah, we
past
can't wait.
for first
Spoilers,
part of.
spoilers,
Okay, sorry.
spoilers. No spoilers. For a
If
movie
you've
that's not out
seen
yet.
if you've
Spoilers.
seen any of the previews, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, there's just yeah. I mean, we got Tombstone going to be in this next one. I mean, the
Yeah.
the Rogues
Tombstones in this
Gallery that's going to be in this next one is fantastic.
Scorpion,
And remember,
Tarantula.
Peter was with MJ for a while, and then she left the comics,
Mm-hmm.
and he met other people, and he fell in love with different
Betty.
people. You know, there's Gwen. There's who was Black Cat? What's
Felicia
Felicia.
her
Harding.
Felicia Harding. Harding. And then there was the when he was in college, there was the blonde hair with the glasses.
When there's
Um,
when he his little crush on Betty Brant, right? Or
well, that was at the same time he right after MJ had left to go to
yeah. So I
and
mean,
so Betty flirted with him, not not
well
not Peter.
we
The
haven't
other way
really
around.
introduced the Daily Bugle other than having the voice and
And
bald
and him on a
J.
big
Jonah Jameson.
teleprompter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I was thinking about I can't see anybody else playing him but him. Um, and I know that Manwolf is supposed to be in one of the. I don't know if it's going to be in a cartoon but he's going to be introduced. So that's Jonah Jameson's son.
Yes.
So they're slowly expanding it, but
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It looks like this one's going to be really good.
but
I'm
like
glad that I'm just hoping there's stuff that they haven't shown. I'm really hoping that we
yes,
haven't seen.
I don't want them to show anything. I don't want
Yeah,
any. I
I want
want
it to
this to
be. I
be
want
a
to be
nice
surprised
surprise. Um,
because just like having the Punisher in it, but I think he's only in it like a short period of time
I know he's in it with Gwen I mean,
with Jean Grey.
Jean Grey at one point. There's the part where they're fighting on the street, and Peter's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I'm trying to save your ass." That whole scene.
Go
That
home,
ought to
Frank. Yeah,
go home, Frank.
yeah.
But I don't really worry about Marvel. I just worry about DC because DC, for one, they got some bad owners who don't understand what they have, the property they have, and you know, um, I don't know what kind of contract that they have, what's his name has and his friend, the two partners that run it.
Hmm.
But knowing the people who bought it and own it, they could be fired in a minute, in a heartbeat, and we'd be starting all over again. And I'm so tired of starting all over again. I don't want to see another revamp. Do it right. If you screw it up, then take the next movie to kind of correct it. And it's like steering a boat. You can't just immediately do a 360 in a boat. You got to slowly steer it, and
People were lukewarm to Superman. You know what they want? The Justice League. But first, we got to have Batman fight Superman
Right. Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
same movie.
In the same movie.
No,
and
slow
we
down.
got to have both of them have the same
The
name,
same
mother's
name,
name,
mother's name.
name.
What did you
Um,
say?
why'd
Oh, you know
find
what we
that?
could also do?
Margaret.
The Death of Superman story. Just cram it
No,
all in there.
don't, man,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't. I swear I would. No, I'm not going to say that live on something that's going to get broadcast.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
I'll burn that studio down.
yeah, just you don't need to bring Doomsday right, and if you're gonna do the Death of Superman, you do it right. Don't do this garbage that was the Snyder.
The
That Doomsday
Golem, the
was
Golem,
Gollum.
the
Yeah,
Golem.
yeah. That unfortunately, I still can't get over this, but I do not know how Superman would have been able to fly a kryptonite spear fast enough, or even fly for that matter, and
I
pierce.
mean, we
And
saw him lift a whole continent of it.
the two
Different,
different universes,
different
two different
movie,
universes,
different
two different
movie.
movies.
Yeah, and then it was piercing his fingers and his
Right.
hands, and one went into his shoulder. I was like, yeah, no, that would be gone crashing down, would
Yes.
have wiped out
No, that
Metropolis,
would have never
and
happened.
he'd have been a pincushion underneath it, and it would have been over.
Right, right. They
And
would have
that would,
found
and
his.
that would, and then we would have had his little bastard son become the new Superman. God, I hated that.
We did. It was called Brightborn, right? Right. What was it?
Oh,
Yeah, Brightburn.
Brightburn.
Right.
I wanted to see that universe because there was supposed to be Wonder Woman next, and then they were going to do a Batman and build a whole dark universe out of it, and they never went beyond the first movie.
So wait, what was he? What was the bad versus Superman called in that other universe?
Which one? Crypt? I mean,
Because I know
Like
it's like what?
in DC,
Yeah,
with the crime syndicate,
yeah,
Ultraman.
yeah. So
Ultraman,
you would have.
which we
became
had
Ultraman.
him. Well, we had him in
Yeah,
this
we got Ultraman.
Ultraman in this one,
1A.
Yeah. The clone.
which I don't think we've seen
That's.
the last
I
of
think
him.
that's.
I think he's
that's
going to be.
Bizarro.
No, he's
I
gonna
think
be
he's
Bizarro,
he's
of
gonna
course.
gonna
become
become
Bizarro.
Bizarro.
Yeah.
You know what? That's the thing is like I know he was Ultraman, but like my brain was like, no, it's Bizarro. It's the
Yeah, I mean, I know he had the U on him, but I still I want to see where they go to that universe after,
Mhm.
and they have to take those guys down. I want to see that,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah,
because as
because
far as this is concerned, their multiverse is still existing.
yep.
Marvel is the one that's getting rid of theirs. It's funny. We're now seeing a multiverse in the DC universe, which they didn't want to do. And Marvel did it, and now they're moving away from it because they want to consolidate things down. The two can't even
Hey,
no,
it's just like in the
focus on it.
comics, remember, Dad? It's just like in the comics. They both did it twice.
Yeah.
All right. Good episode, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did miss this a lot. I miss having you guys on. Looks like a good time for movies. We're looking forward to some good TV shows and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a good fun discussion.
I think if you let us know what kind of comics that you love, what kind of comics that you've read, which one do you think would make a good movie, Um, give us some that are not mainstream, something that is unusual and interesting.
And David, you go. Are you looking forward
Oh,
to the
do I need?
yeah, you go
I
the non-existent Green Lantern the TV show that's coming out?
Somebody
Yeah,
wake
I
up
mean,
David.
again, it's until credits roll, it doesn't exist. Is what I will continue saying until the credits roll. But until then, I will be cautiously optimistic. And Hal's probably gonna die.
Yeah,
Oh,
House
the
Moving.
hell with you. You know
The
what?
hell with you. Come on.
May it come on and you're sitting in front of the television and you're getting ready to watch it and you have a power outage.
I look forward to the season ending with Kyle showing up.
Now, that would be awesome. All right, everyone. We will catch you next episode. Peace.